This is the Tucker Carlson bit. Now, the first bit I want to show you is just literally the start of the broadcast, because we mentioned that there are some technical issues. Note that my internet is working perfectly well. You can hear me perfectly well. It's all good. Mm-hmm. So the thing you're about to see is not my internet crapping out. It's TPUSA's. This is an amazing guitar performance that's enhanced by technology, I feel. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Is it happening
during a thunderstorm?
And it just goes on like this for ages.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So you get the idea.
Shit.
You get the idea, right? We'll skip forward to is it 34 minutes I've got linked down as when your man comes in. Where is that? Is he there yet? There we go. Okay. So yeah.
Rumored future presidential candidate Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, having a fucking breakdown, basically.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down.
Oh my God! Nobody in that room was born when that happened.
Nope.
That's like putting Kennedy up. They have to go back to the last century.
This is the new rule. The government makes all key decisions about your children. It's about power. And anyone who challenges it is crushed. This is one of the great scandals of our age. And no one is stopping it. If he's not running the government, then who is? I mean, this is the most cynical, anti-democratic exercise in the history of American politics. Somebody
that would be white people.
Opponents of the regime are punished. Allies of the regime are not. This is the greatest scandal of my lifetime, what's happening on the border right now. We should be honest about it and not be bullied into silence as they take our country away. Why let the lunatics take control of the system they didn't build? It's not theirs. They don't get to wreck it. Maybe people should stay and fight. This is a profoundly nice country, the nicest in the world.
Really? Have you seen your show?
Yeah, exactly. You're basically advocating for like the de-citizenshiping of your fellow Americans based on their political takes.
Yeah. Not just that, but the nicest country in the world. You know, you've drone striked everyone ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are no more people left. America has drone striked all of humanity to death.
This is the lie of white racial goodness. White people are fundamentally good. It doesn't matter if we colonized. It doesn't matter if we enslaved people or denied them their rights or that we're perpetuating racism today. We're still good. We're nice.
Yeah.
You know? And other people just need to stop complaining so much.
True.
That is it. Yeah, de-citizenshipping. My word.
That works. That's fine.
America is still the best.
He's not Beyonce. What the fuck is this? How long does sparklers run?
Literally wearing the tan towel.
That looks so dumb.
Yeah.
That navy on top of the tan
just
looks so ridiculous. He looks like a Christmas cracker or something.
This is.
I can't stop looking at his pants.
I have my watch set to East Coast time. Actually, we're 4 minutes from when I'm normally working.
Look at the wrinkles on his trousers.
Because I put on a necktie every night at 7:45, just as a matter of habit.
Can we pause it? Sorry. We have to talk about this so I can stop looking at it. Look at does he look like he's wearing weird special underwear that are a little bit puffy?
Little bit, but it could be the shadow effect of the lectern. You see where it's
also,
shadowy below and then light above or something?
There's like a hole in his crotch.
Yeah, he's got a thigh gap, yeah.
And not that high up.
He's got a thigh gap, clearly. Look, the transvestigators out there are going to start the rumour he's definitely trans.
Well, no, 100%. I'm just
100%.
saying, like, that is I'm so distracted by it. It looks like his ass is facing the front.
He's got his legs on back to front, yeah.
Yes, and that's his asshole.
No, his asshole's on just below his mouth. It's what he talks out of.
That's true. It's a two-part asshole.
There are only two holes. What? in the words of a great
No,
word.
I'm just gonna think about Has fucking that hole.
Ugh, wow. It would be the first time he'd fucked any hole.
Yeah, it'd be very exciting for him.
And just kidding. I haven't gone that crazy yet. I'm never in a room this big. It's like, this is unbelievable. I love it.
Do you not
Thank
go to
you.
sporting events?
Yeah.
Ever? What?
Also, like, dude, we know you live in a big fuck-off house. You've probably got several rooms in your fucking house that are this big.
Yeah.
Shut up. One of your many swimming pools is probably bigger than this, I would imagine.
Yeah, we're trying to show off your thighs there, Tucker. We see you.
I think I know about 100 people. I know I do because they've been texting me, and I'm really sorry. I don't have my glass on. I cannot see where you are. But I'm really glad to be in the same room with you. I can feel you not to be too groovy about it, so thanks.
Not to be too groovy about. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Is it the 1960s again?
Yes. Yes, it is. I'm suggesting we're going to have to go up to 1.25 because this could take all night because we've paused 4 times already.
Yeah. I mean, in their fantasies, they're still in the middle of the 1950s Red Scare, so that does make sense.
Yeah.
And fighting the hippies.
True. They think hippies are still a thing. Yeah.
Those are weird pants.
I don't travel very much, and I never give speeches. And I'm only here for one reason, and that's because, this is
The pussy.
as as I can be. I've been watching Charlie Kirk carefully for about maybe 8 or 9 years since one of the early supporters of Turning Point.
Look, true. Look, I've been watching him for years as well. It's been hilarious.
Well, yeah, two weird-faced men would be fascinated with each other. One looks like he's always pooping his pants, and the other one, you're like, how does his face fill up? Like, how is that arranged? How is his skull organized?
Yeah, Tucker Carlson constantly wearing the look of a face of a dog who can't work out where the ball went.
Yes.
Look, you threw it, but it didn't go there. So what's happening here? Well, what fucking trick are you pulling, human?
Point came to me and said, there's this guy I'm supporting. He's a really bright young kid. And of course, I'm skeptical because I'm against young people. So I said, totally kidding. But I said, who is he? And he goes, well, he never went to college.
Think how excited Shu was right now.
Yeah.
And I said, well, he sounds pretty great. So I had my eye on Charlie Kirk. And, he's saying things that I completely agree with, of course. Pretty mainstream.
Because we're paid by the
conservative
same people.
person, and have been my whole life. And then about 2 years ago, everything in the physical world, in the real world, which is to say distinct from the nonprofit, let's talk about how things should be world, completely changes, which is to say the country completely changes. And no one notices in the world.
What are you talking about? What on earth is he talking about here?
No idea.
It's completely changed.
It's fantasy conservative world now. We've entered the delusional zone.
Yeah.
The
I wish
one
we
where
could
they're
go
the
back to
victims.
the grand old ye olde days of 2014 when things were very different. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because, Trump and the Republicans ran the country for a couple of years, so, but just continue, because this is a fairy tale he's spinning.
World that I live in. Like it's 2003 and full speed ahead. And I look over and I can see on Charlie Kirk's face that he kind of notices.
Have they digitally altered this image, or does he just not have an ass? Like, at all?
I was actually going the other direction. It looks like he's got he's got your juicy booty.
What are you talking about? He's got no ass. There's nothing there.
What do you look at, think about, look where his knee is.
That's
right?
because he's sort of bent at the knee. You can't really see, but his leg goes back, so he's
okay,
bent
fine.
down.
Then take it from the top of his calf, go straight up.
That's
That's
his
like
other
one
leg.
quarter booty. No, I've seen flatter asses than that on men. Way flatter asses than that on men.
No, I don't know.
That's a bit of a pudgy backside.
Kristi's a Kuma. Official.
Like I'm going to deny it.
Exactly the same as it was last year. This is like completely different, and some of the things we expected to happen didn't happen. It didn't change his core beliefs. It was still completely for freedom.
It's not a
for
nice
the
ass,
country,
but
for
it's
the
not a
family,
flat
the,
ass.
the bedrock
No, it is.
things that you can never be against. But he looks around and he's like, maybe we should acknowledge the reality of the country now. Get rid
All
of
right, I
not all,
challenge
but
you
maybe
to a
some
better
of
man
the
ass.
bumper stickers we used.
What?
I'm throwing down a challenge. I want you to show me a better man ass. Like, what is a good man ass? If that's not big.
A good man. Are
Yeah,
you mispronouncing mayonnaise?
No, I'm saying, like, he's got puff, right? What's your show me your ideal man butt. What are you judging? Who are you judging him against?
Me.
Yeah, but unfortunately,
Look, you've got to love the
none
butt
of
you're
us-
in, okay?
See, you can't
think about
calling
how
a
to
bluff.
respond to what's actually happening. Now, that seems like kind of the basic requirement for adulthood in this country, no? Yes. But that's so far beyond so many people I know that it was like really unusual. And I thought, I'm very impressed by that. I'm very impressed by someone who's willing to notice
Paid for the
change and
is it
respond
Koch
to it. So
brothers?
I'm completely on the side of Charlie.
You what, sorry?
Who pays for the TPUSA? Is it Coke?
The soda company?
No, the brothers. Who funds
Hang on.
TPUSA?
Why have you pluralised the one remaining brother?
Yeah, is it because presumably their trust fund is still in like both their names.
Yeah, well, I'm not entirely sure. It's almost certainly the Mercers, but I don't know if it's the Koch brothers as well. Hang on. TPUSA
look it up.
USA.
Bob Mercer, right?
Funding, indeed. Funding.
What are Tucker's ties to Bob Mercer, I wonder?
Yeah.
Look that up.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was money and misinformation. How go away.
Richard Fairbrass, a man with an ass so sexy his name ends with it.
Fair point, I suppose.
Very fair point.
I'm trying to founded in just give me the name of a fucking organisation. What you do? Come on. Including Foster Fries, whoever that is, the late multimillionaire who Kirk was credited with helping him launch his operations, and the powerful Bradley Foundation. Okay,
I'd like to know the money connections between Tucker Carlson. How many degrees of separation there are between funders?
Well, it's
ties.
all very incestuous, isn't it?
Yeah, Mr. Swanson himself.
Yeah.
Kirk, I think he's really impressive, and I'm here to say that. So here's the other thing. Thank you. So here's the other thing I'm here to say. So I
there you go.
host the
Did
world's
you say
greatest
that?
TV show.
No, I missed it.
So here's
Sorry,
the other
looking
thing I'm
I'll
here to say.
pause.
So I
Nice. Great camera work.
Amazing. Yeah, go to camera one. We've got incredible zoom. We've got incredible zoom.
You need to keep the autofocus on. Don't turn it on
Amazing.
manual.
Fucking
Don't worry
amazing.
about depth of field right now. We're live.
Also, why does he look like Charlie Kirk in this image? It's very strange.
Charlie Kirk or Tucker Carlson. Who is it?
Or Edvard Munch's Scream. Could be any of them.
That's
I don't
me
know.
inside.
Yeah.
host the world's grimmest TV show, which really is an unending litany of how horrible things are, and more precisely how horrible the people running things are, which honestly you can't, as I often say to my wife, you really can't overstate. You could do 2 hours a night and still not plumb the depths of their horribleness. And that's exactly what I'm here to say. So there's a man in the front who just said, but there's a lot of good too. And that is right. So here's the one thing. So I never have time to think because, I've got to write the script and, we have to...
Well, talking of script...
I never have time to think, of course.
Yeah,
Thanks for saying the quiet part out loud, Tucker.
Yeah. Look, he doesn't seem to be talking from a script here. He's not taking... This isn't from an auto cue because he's just sort of riffing, isn't he?
Seems to be.
Yeah, which is not great because he just starts rambling and going on diatribes about nothing. It's very strange.
He's not a spontaneous public speaker type.
No.
He's no Barack Obama.
No.
So I fly across the country and I have a little bit of time to think, and I'm thinking to myself, this really is the low point. It's got to be the low point. After which we have the rise, where it starts to get better. And this is not... So that's in part a physics principle, in the famous words, like the smartest thing ever.
Yes, okay, but society doesn't run on like... It's not physical descriptions in that way. The laws of physics don't apply to societies.
No.
Ancient Rome was, as we discussed yesterday, was incredibly powerful, and it dipped, and then one day it didn't rise again. Mm-hmm. Great empires have fallen before; they'll fall in the future. We're watching America's fall right now. It's just a fact.
Ever said in Washington was said by one of Richard Nixon's advisors, who said, if something can't continue forever, it won't. And I do kind of believe that.
Yeah, but one of Richard Nixon's advisors also went, shall we break into the Watergate? So, I don't know that they're necessarily ones to trust, mate.
Yeah, we're doing fine in the polls, but let's commit a crime against the Democrats anyway.
Yeah, we literally do not need to do this. But shall we commit some felonies? Yeah. Awesome. And should we tape ourselves talking about it as well?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a really good
Brilliant.
idea. Fantastic. So anyway, Mr. President, what do you think about the Jews? That's a reference to the actual tapes in which he's very anti-Semitic.
Yeah. And generally racist.
Yeah.
But when something is completely insane and counterproductive, when it doesn't even benefit the people pushing it, it probably can't continue. And let me just say one other thing that dawned on me this morning. So I'm a pretty milquetoast Episcopalian, so sometimes I miss the larger implications of things.
Oh, Richard Fairbrand. Oh, yeah, the guy from Right Said Fred, who, by the way, is they're mental anti-vaxxers now.
Oh no!
Yeah,
God.
they're like really brainworms out there, vocal, crazy anti-vaxxers, which is really annoying because
I know.
I'm too sexy
right?
with my shirt is hilarious.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, it happens, you know.
But
don't have heroes,
the things that are going on now are so crazy, and they're so disconnected. So normally, I was in Washington most of my life.
Not that for a second they were heroes. I'm just, just saying.
Mm.
And something that I didn't like would happen, and you would say, well, that's because they've got a ton of Pfizer stock, or they're taking money from this or that lobbyist, or they've just got bad ideas. Things are happening right now that can't be explained by the normal explanation. There's just absolutely no rational explanation for it. People are standing up and saying, let's get rid of the cops, because I know that's going to make things better. Like, there's not one person who upon 50...
Okay, but, there are one or two people who say get rid of all cops. But defund the police, which is what he's referring to, is not that.
Yeah, it would be helpful if it would be something like fund social services for public nuisance. Something that encapsulates the idea that we're going to stop treating every single call to the police as something that requires an armed response.
True, but that's not as pithy a slogan, which I think is
agreed.
The problem.
Yeah, and the problem is that the slogan gives Tucker Carlson, because of people are lazy and don't look into things.
Yeah.
He can spin this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's just public discourse. It always comes down to the most common basic, simplistic messages to break through people's lives.
Which is why democracy doesn't work.
Yeah, it's
No, don't agree with that. That was a joke.
No. I mean, it's got it is the worst thing except for everything else we've tried.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it has democratic legitimacy, which is about the best thing going for it.
I don't know. Look, have we given monarchy enough millennia?
But democratic legitimacy can be undermined by rigging the system.
Yeah.
And then you're giving democratic legitimacy to something that is actually not legitimate, but it has the appearance, which is what dictators do.
Yeah, that's true. It was Winston Churchill who said the democracies, was it the least?
Yeah, I was
worst?
quoting.
Yeah.
No, democracy is the worst form of government except for everything else we've tried.
Else, yeah. Except that he didn't want brown people to have it at all.
Yes, yeah, it was for white people democracy.
Whites.
I mean, not one person. So why would you say that? Well, there's only one reason to say that, and that's to destroy things for its own sake.
What?
And you don't often see that. You see a lot of wrong-headedness. You see bad ideas. You see people who are corrupt. There's some kind of scam going on underneath or whatever. It's you think it's politics. It's actually Vegas. Yeah. Okay, got it. But what? Vegas, baby. So I'll see you at the Spearmint Rhino. So, totally kidding.
What the fuck?
I have no idea.
What is he doing? He's not a funny man. You do not have the comedy chops for this, Tucker. This is not your game at all, friend.
This is him at a dinner party.
Yeah. I will see you at the strip club, but I'm a good Christian.
Yeah, I'm an Episcopalian.
Yeah. He's taken the Episcopalian.
Obviously. But anyway, sorry, I shouldn't say stuff like that. I can't control myself. Limited self-control. So, what you don't see too much, in fact, I have never seen, is people wrecking stuff for the sake of wrecking stuff. Even their own stuff.
Pause.
So what is that?
Oh, this is black people destroy their own communities.
Yeah. But
Code.
yeah, true. But it's just weird because he doesn't even give examples. He's just
no.
People are just destroying things for the sake of it. Where?
This is just
Who is
straight
doing
up
this?
White whiny man, right-wing white man, fantasy white,
Yeah.
that he's working on here. By the way, Kevin, I have to ask, I would unbutton the jacket if I was giving a talk standing up.
Well, I wouldn't wear any of this get up.
Right, but do you think, I don't think the closed jacket when he then spreads his arms wide, it just
True, but I'm thinking
Doesn't
to
look
myself that he's keeping it buttoned up for the girdle effect. Because I'm saying is that button, if it comes undone, that lectern is going to fly across the room. Is what I'm thinking.
And then there'll be a shadow over his hole and his bump. There's a bump and then a hole.
That was almost poetic. There's going to be a shadow over his hole.
There's nothing in politics, there's nothing in reason,
Yeah.
there's nothing within
Like destroying
our recent
Nike
human
shoes.
experience that can explain that.
Diarrhea.
So
Correct.
if you're a rational person, you don't even need to be a religious person. You have to conclude there is something that is unseen at work here. Like, there is a spiritual dimension to this. I'm sorry, there just is. I don't care. If I sound like...
Wow, how brave. He admits to being a spiritual religious man at a room full of
Wait.
conservatives.
Is this going that he's that people like me are actually the forces of evil?
Probably. I
Because
don't know. I'm not sure.
Because he's right now basically, dehumanizing and strawmanning everyone on the left, saying they want to destroy things for the sake of it. Right? Even their own things. So what can be motivating it? Oh, there must be some sort of spiritual angle. And how does that play into a Christian apocalyptic worldview? Well, they're in league with Satan. I wonder if that's where this is going.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, I mean, I know where the speech goes, but I still don't know what he was meant.
Okay, yeah.
It's not necessarily great in terms of the clarity of your message if the person who has listened to the entire thing still doesn't know where you're going.
I was just listening to Charlie Kirk talking about the Christian part of TPUSA.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking, yeah, that's kind of...
Well, because it's kind of Christo-fascist nonsense, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Precisely.
I don't see how any rational person couldn't conclude that. If people are standing up and saying, let's burn my own house down, let's do it immediately.
Who's doing this? When has anyone burnt that? Well, other than maybe an insurance job.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Other than an insurance scam, who's just gone, I'll tell you what we should do. We should burn our own house down.
Kevin, remember, he argued he's not a journalist, he's an entertainer.
True. Well, exactly, yeah. What was the exact wording? It was something like no rational person would take them seriously. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
They are seized by something. They are. By a spirit of destruction.
See? I told you.
And that's
demons.
just true.
He's just a televangelist, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm out.
They're demons. I'm out.
So, I would say, before I outline why I think things might be about to improve,
literally just agitating
let me just say
terrorism.
that's the framework to understand it. It's not the normal sort of, I'm watching the vax stuff and I'm truly horrified by it on a real level, and I become totally intolerant of it because it's too much. It's too cruel. It hurts too many people.
What do you mean the vax stuff hurts too many people?
It's saving lives, like all the time.
I was about to say, I mean, I think America's pushing towards 900,000 dead or something now in America. Which, by the way, like, I know it's not entirely his fault, but like,
yeah,
we're gonna have to start talking at some point about Biden not necessarily handling this perfectly as well. But regardless of whose fault it is, the idea that it's the vax that's the problem rather than the people not taking the vax causing the problem is ridiculous.
Yeah, and states, of course, interfering with businesses that want to require masks. And we're seeing higher death rates from COVID in counties that voted for Trump. And they still don't care.
Well, no, I'm just going to say good. Fuck them.
Well, yeah, it's just a logical consequence of they're anti-vaxxers. So, of course, they're going to get more serious complications. And if they have other comorbidities, they're going to be more likely to die. And they are.
Well, exactly, yeah. Like, I'd prefer they take the vaccine and not die.
Yeah.
If you don't take the vaccine and then you die, fine. I don't fucking care. Like, you've lost my sympathy.
It's been 2 years now.
Yeah.
You know? It's not like you don't know Omicron is coming.
Yeah.
But, obviously it's class war against the weakest people. In the end, only...
Hang on, is he saying that to condemn it or to advocate for it?
Sorry, I was still thinking about the last thing, so I hadn't retuned back in. What did he say?
We'll go back 5 seconds.
Okay.
Obviously it's class war against the weakest people. In the end...
So is he for or against that?
Yeah, what? again, the victimhood, just the need to be the victims here. He's a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
He's like inheriting a trust worth hundreds of millions at least. He is not the weak and the poor. You know, the whites who are organizing redistricting so that they're marginalizing Democratic votes and also people of color so they can maintain a white, hegemony over power. That they're not the poor. Those are your friends, Tucker. Those are the kids those are the parents of the people you're talking to.
Yeah.
Only Salvadoran busboys will have masks on.
Also, hang on, can we just go back for a second? Look at the camera work here as it cuts off part of the speaker's fucking head.
It's the weakest people. In the end, only Salvadoran
Sorry,
busboys
the parents
will have masks on.
Sorry, I got my
peasants can't
things
look at
mixed
their
up. You heard
leaders.
what I
That's
meant.
It's actually about. And the vax stuff is about punishing people who have no one to protect them. That's the truth. Okay? And I'm completely sick of it. And I'm going to soon be selling mugs that say naturally immune.
We need to be
If you're naturally
protected.
immune, you earned it. And I mean that.
Can you
And
pause?
if you have earned it.
The first confirmed Omicron death in the U.S. was from someone who had not taken the vaccine but had been infected with COVID before.
Indeed.
They had some other health problems, but their natural immunity did not protect them a second time around.
Yeah.
Also, this is
Also,
a lie they're selling.
Tucker Carlson has absolutely been vaxxed up to the fucking eyeballs.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
will happily, A, watch you die, but B, charge you for a commemorative mug that boasts about that fact as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's fucking sick.
And I know some in the room have, you earned it. And some people really earned it at high cost. And you should be proud of it. And you shouldn't let anybody
Be proud of long
boss you
COVID.
around about it,
Yeah.
make you do anything you don't want to do. So
Brilliant.
I look at that, I'm like, what is this? You're telling 5-year-olds to get, to get this drug? I'm not going to get windy or lectury on it, but like, who would do that? Well, that's demonstrably true, but there's something else. It's evil. That is evil. Let's just say it. It's evil.
Vaccinating
so
kids
the other
is
dynamic that's
evil.
going on.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Vaccinating kids is evil. What we need, right? Going back to monkey, go back to polio. That's what we need. Look, what this generation of snowflakes needs is a good bout of smallpox.
Yeah, I don't understand the logic of saying it's fine to expose a 5-year-old to a live virus because it won't affect them that much. They won't get sick and die. Their chances of recovery are the highest of any age group.
Yeah.
And saying we're going to give kids a dead version of the virus that their body can practice fighting.
Yeah.
That somehow is more ridiculous than exposing them to the actual infection and having them go through the entire thing.
Yeah. Again, I will just say Tucker Carlson's kids have definitely been vaxxed.
Yeah.
No doubt
His whole
about
family
it.
has.
Yeah.
Is that the decisions are being made by people who are too far from the effects of the decisions. And
Because
as
they don't
someone
have
who had
infection
it beaten into him, and it's my
risks.
temperament anyway, to really
God.
revere older people, I have trouble making fun, I'll be honest, of Joe Biden's mental decline, because I feel guilty about it. Because I hope I'm 80 someday. I don't want people mocking me when I can't. You know what I mean? I want my children to respect me. And very gently, wipe the frosted flakes from my chin. I mean it. And tell me that I make sense. And thank me for my wisdom when I can't remember what I'm saying. I think all of us who make it to that age deserve to be treated with respect.
You're such a hypocrite and
If
prick.
for no
You every day on your show,
Such a
you
hypocrite and
don't
prick.
show him respect. Now,
Yeah.
I don't mind you not showing him respect. You don't have to. That's fine. But don't fucking lie about it.
Yeah, well, he is a liar.
other reason that we made it. You make it to 80, you look around, a lot of the people who you began with are not there anymore. You're in a small percentage who made it, and I respect that. I do. It's like climbing Everest. Like, not all the Sherpas made it to the top, but you did. So that is my default position.
Why is it that, wait,
But I
the
also feel like,
Sherpas
because
would be
it's-
the best placed. It's the, rich tourists?
Yeah.
It's the rich people who would die off in Everest. So again, racism.
Well, exactly. But it always that kind of motivational phrase, completely unrelated in many respects, but the motivational phrase, was it every dead person on the slopes of Everest was some really ambitious person, blah blah blah. I forget the exact wording. It's something along those lines. And I thought to myself, are you trying to tell me that I should be ambitious and dead?
High on that mountaintop.
Or just say, actually, don't be that ambitious and you won't die freezing to death on a mountain. Okay.
Not having the effect you want.
Yeah, exactly. This isn't motivating me to want to do the thing I think you're trying to make me do.
By the way, I'm just going to say that I've never seen Tucker Carlson give a speech like this before in front of an audience. And yeah, he's not prime time for a candidate right now. This
well,
is
he's not
nothing.
now, no. But how old is he for a start? Hang on.
50 something probably. I'd imagine
So he's
middle to late 50s.
probably got like 20 years maybe to. He's
Crap.
52, so yeah, look, he's probably got 20 years to get good.
Yeah,
which is
he's got a
possible.
long way to go because this
there's no
is
doubt
not a good
exactly.
speech.
You know, this is not good at all. But look, clearly he can read a script, which gives you something. That gives you something to work with if you've got a good team around you. You know.
Yeah, but you also have to bring the crowd into it, and
You
so
do,
he delivers deadpan into a black hole camera lens. You know.
No, absolutely.
It's so.
Yeah. But I suppose it's like anything. If you practice, you can get reasonable. But I don't know. Look, all I'll say is his performance in this has not made me think more highly of his chances.
Yeah, he's not he's not working the crowd in the way a politician would. Not like even Trump knows how to get the crowd to do like repeating chants back and finishing sentences with an obvious word and applause lines. Right?
Yeah.
This is just like a commencement speech.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, exactly. Yeah. You need a round of applause or a cheer or a chant at least sort of once a minute.
Yeah, just keep people
and he's
engaged,
just doing
keep them hyped up.
2 and 3 minute little monologue-y rambles.
Yeah.
And the occasional person will shout something. He's getting heckled, in essence. Supportive heckles, to be sure, but that does not show a command of the room when people are shouting random shit at you.
It's more like a stand-up night.
Yeah.
True, and it's true of every society, that the single most important task is to raise up people to replace you. That's why you have children. So your family continues after you die. That's the whole point. That's the point in the natural world. Animals don't question this. They're not anxious. They don't think it's better to work at Citibank than to have kids. It's not even a thing. That's never occurred to my 4 dogs. They're like,
Yes, you've noticed a difference between humans and the other animals.
Yeah.
Well done, Tucker.
Animals are driven by like their chemical lusts, right? They're not thinking, I want a new, I want a litter.
Yeah.
No, they're like, I want to fuck, and then the litter happens, and then they deal with it. Like that.
I also don't sit there licking my anus in front of the TV like cats.
Would you if you could, though?
I'm not
probably
saying
not. You don't even like ass water.
I don't like ass water. I like ass. It's a different thing entirely, Kristi, please. When it comes to sex, it's not hygienic. It certainly shouldn't be. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not really sure if I should reproduce. I could make vice president. Like, I gotta meet with HR, but we'll see how it works. But no,
they're also not saying I can invent the microwave oven. Like, we've progressed beyond the fucking animals, you cunt.
Imagine, this is his point. We should be thoughtless reproducers.
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't use our higher consciousness. We should just, like automatons, keep fucking and pushing people out. Because, by the way, what that really helps out, especially if you don't have birth control, is it takes women out of the workforce during the time of their pregnancy and the early part of their kids' years. And then if you get them pregnant, like right away afterwards, well, then they have to kind of just keep staying home and making your meals and keeping the house clean.
Yeah.
Which is also what he wants.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, he wants to go back to the 50s. Not the high taxes. Not that.
Not
that
that
actually
part
built American prosperity. No. Just the social and racial
the part where
policies.
the federal government gave a bunch of money to white people, like they did with the Homestead Act, and like they did over and over and over again.
True, but America doesn't look. The problem with the Manifest Destiny, apart from all the racism and genocide, was that eventually the land runs out. Mm-hmm. They've got you can't just continue. There's no more land for you.
Well, then we went south.
A little bit, true, but like again, it's sort of the borders are there now, and the sea is there. There's no more. Basically.
There's no more to steal.
No.
They're just like, I'm not going to get more specific, but they're dogs. And we're animals too. And that's our most basic desire, is to live.
No. The thing is, we are animals
he actually
too.
said it.
But we're not. We're not actually like the other animals. Look, the other animals also don't stand at a lectern talking in language. Tucker, that's not a thing they do. They don't have massive lighting rigs set up by the other dogs.
No.
Like, you realise we are different, fundamentally very, very different in their social interactions than dogs.
I'm just going to have to quote little Dickie from Pillow Talk here. People are smarter, bitch. That's what we do.
Yeah.
Like, that's what we do as our species. Like, that's what set us apart. Like, dogs have their thing and lions have their thing. They have, I remember their things. Ours is that we have really big frontal lobes.
Yeah. Like,
that's our thing.
Dogs probably also don't fly planes to fucking Phoenix, Arizona. You cock.
Like this, oh, we can't think too much. We have to be animals and just breed. What?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's the dumb. It's not an argument. It's a breakdown.
It's patriarchy. It's patriarchy, and they want to get back to the old school patriarchy.
It's just multi-brain nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
Something behind is to live forever in a better place in the afterlife, but to have our family continue, hopefully forever, in this life. Our children, our grandchildren, our people, our blood continuing.
Our people, our blood.
Our blood. Your
very
blood, huh?
Yeah.
How does that? Is that kind of code? You think, Kevin?
Well, it depends what he means by our, doesn't it? It's vague enough that you can't really accuse him of anything, because then he'll just say, "Oh, you're just saying it's racism. I meant all people in America." Brackets who are white, but all people, okay,
Who are white.
all of them, all
of the white people.
Yeah, asterisks. Asterisks is white people.
Yep, you can hear that dog whistle.
Yep. Which is ironic, I suppose, given that he's comparing us to dogs. So.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. Every human wants that. That's the most basic thing to want. Okay?
No, it isn't. No.
Again, no.
Lots of humans don't want that, and it's not like I'd like this. It's not like humanity is a scarce resource on this planet. There's quite a few of us now. Quite a few more than there were.
We really can take the brakes off of reproduction for a couple centuries.
Slow it down a little bit, I reckon.
Yeah, let's keep it at 6 billion. How about 5 billion?
Yeah.
Just use, just let people not reproduce and bring the numbers down, and don't have so much competition for resources. How about that?
But he needs people to be scared and hungry and afraid, and
and also
it's mainly Chinese and Indian people, and he doesn't want those people reproducing.
Yes. Also, you need a lot of workers in order to keep the wages down, because if we get to full employment, then suddenly workers have the power to negotiate wages, and people who want to make vast profits off of their minuscule hourly rates don't want that.
Yeah. True.
It is. And let me just say, I'm Mr. Parenthetical. I speak only in parentheticals. Like, pause. Oh, here's another point. Can't control myself. The other point is, that's so obviously true that it kind of makes you wonder why no one ever mentions it. So the big questions in a country, if you're running a country, you have to answer 3 or 4 big questions before you proceed. And they're the most obvious ones, like, do we have enough food? Hey, clean water, got that? Can we defend ourselves? Keep the invaders out? Do we have enough energy? Like, how are we going to stay warm this winter and make things? Energy. So those are the most basic questions any society asks. The Romans asked it. Every society from then till now has asked those questions because they're the ones that matter. If you live in a place where no one asks any of those questions, something's gone wrong. If we're arguing about pregnancy...
Who's not asking those questions?
Weren't you complaining about the Green New Deal?
Yeah. Yeah. Look, but who's... What is he talking about? No one's asking those questions.
Yeah, again.
Wasn't there a whole thing when there was snow in Texas, and there was literally for 2 weeks the whole thing was the energy grid. We need to talk about the energy grid. What are we doing about the energy grid?
You know what Texas just spent its money on instead?
Massive cow statue.
I wish that would have actually maybe been a tourist attraction. I was
taking a punt in the dark. I didn't know. I went with my gut.
They're building their own state-funded wall along the border.
Of course they are.
They can't figure out their fucking energy grids.
Well, no, but think of it this way, Kristi. Keeps the foreign people out. Keeps the foreign weather out as well.
That's how walls work.
Exactly, yeah. What do you think a snowstorm's going to get over a wall? Behave yourself.
Yeah.
Checkmate, libs.
Yeah. Again, fantasy world here.
Yeah. Also, listen to his example, right? So he thinks people aren't talking about energy or safety or food supply, even though literally the supply chain has been the focus for the last 2 fucking months. Anyway, his example of things people are talking about, apparently, is quite illuminating, I think.
Can we hold it for just a second? Because, oh shit, I was going to make a point. Now you said something that I thought about and it's gone. But maybe it'll come back.
Okay.
All right, hit play.
A place where no one asks any of those questions, something's gone wrong.
Oh, I remember. I have to say it now because otherwise it'll
go
leave
on.
Again. Which is, Tucker Carlson, you'll notice, hasn't been able to quote a single person on the left accurately.
No.
While he is trying to condemn us.
He hasn't quoted anything. at all. But he hasn't given even like a rhetorical example yet.
No.
He is literally about to, though. But it's so weird and
Okay.
yeah.
But all we have to do on the left is to quote him accurately or quote them accurately. They have to make things up about us. All we need to do is quote them. That's the difference between the two sides.
True. So the thing he thinks is a huge thing that people are talking about a lot, and that presumably therefore is the end of Western civilization.
You live in a place where no one asks any of those questions? Something's gone wrong.
No
We're
one.
arguing about pregnancy flight suits instead?
What?
Pregnancy flight suits?
I'm sorry. I thought you thought America was a land where people had freedom and the opportunity, equal opportunity, right, Tucker Carlson?
Pregnancy flight suits? That's the thing that people are definitely talking about.
Yeah.
All the time.
Aren't pregnancy flight suits actually an example of the meritocracy that America is supposed to be?
Also, it's not really a new thing. Like they try to link it to, they're letting pregnant women fly fighter jets. No, they're not. It's mainly them like flying like small helicopters to transport people on air bases and stuff, because it's like light duties in essence. But the point is, pregnant people have been allowed to fly aircraft for the American Air Force for decades.
The whole time?
For decades and decades. And the flight suit thing isn't even really it's a new solution to a problem they've had for a while, where basically they would just get fat people suits, so suits that would just be used for a fat person.
Completely inappropriate.
Yeah, which is like, it's loose around the shoulders and the legs and
the
stuff.
Arms.
Yeah,
the
which is not great
when
you're in charge of a mechanical machine that can kill people.
It requires precision.
Yeah, so they've designed a special normal sized person suit, but with a baby bump. It's just got a little bit. It's a pouch, if you will.
I think that's what, under the Americans with Disabilities Act, is called a reasonable accommodation.
Yeah, and costs virtually nothing.
Nothing.
I mean, how many pregnant...
They probably only need like 5 of them at in one base at a time.
How many pregnant people are even flying planes? Not that many. Yeah. It's not an issue. It's sorted. Why is that? That's the end of Western civilization, white man.
Yes, the patriarchy is threatened by women's pregnant people's flight suits.
Look, it's a small hop, skip, and jump from pregnancy flight suits to Antifa fucking all of your kids. It's a fact. And your dog. And the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is that good, though? Because if humans want to fuck and dogs want to fuck...
Shouldn't we... What? Wait, Tucker, how does this work?
Yeah, so if humans are fucking dogs...
And we're all animals.
We're all animals. We can't control ourselves. That's crazy.
Tucker, I don't like where you're taking this.
Exactly. But what about if the dog wants to fuck me? Oh, it's a conundrum, Kristi. It's a conundrum wrapped in a mystery.
Maybe which we are, because that's what they're interested in. Maybe there's some denial in progress. And on the individual level, the questions that really matter: how are my children? Are they happy? Are they thriving? Are they independent of me, which is the point of parenthood, to make your children independent? That's the point. Are they all of those things?
How many of them are living with their parents still?
I was about to say, independent. Aren't you like a massive fucking heir apparent to like the squillions of dollars?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, never had to worry about money a day in his life.
No. To the point where he like literally rings up or emails Hunter Biden for a reference for his kid to go to college.
Yes.
Jesus. This man is the embodiment of silver spoonery.
Find a mate so they can do what I did to create them in the first place, which is reproduce and continue my family after I die, as noted. And the last question is, by the way, I'm going to die. What happens then?
Oh, Tucker, don't threaten me with a good time, motherfucker. I can't wait for it.
Is there a theme to this fucking talk, or is he just riffing?
It's a meltdown.
Stop it.
He's just having a midlife crisis, and he's just trauma dumping to conservative America.
He just sounds like he is an 80-year-old man talking to the youths of today.
Yeah. We're close to a hype train, people. Toot toot, get it going. Come on
toot,
now.
Toot.
Come on.
Woo, woo.
Indeed.
I changed my
Oh.
Just because it reminded me of the train with the square wheels on the caboose. I changed my Twitter profile pic too, a very angry Herbie the elf when he's yelling about not wanting to work on toys.
But I have to say, I was a little bit annoyed because I can't help but feel that that's you appropriating queer culture.
A little bit, yeah. But I also love him.
Oh yeah, but he's a gayist. You don't get to appropriate the gays. He's a gay. No. He's a gay elf. You need to get the straight fucking yeti.
The questions that have transfixed every society from the moment we left caves and probably even before. So if you suddenly wake up in a place where no one even mentions any of that, like at all, and people are telling you that the coronavirus is the most important thing to happen in history, no, it's not.
Who said this?
Again,
who has ever said that?
This straw man I brought along to represent my opponents.
Yeah.
That's who
it's the
said
most
it.
important thing in history.
Again, citations needed. Where's Stefan Molyneux? Who is that? Who used to say that all the time? Citation needed.
No, he used to say.
No, he said that is not an argument.
It's not an argument.
Yes.
Even to things that were arguments. Yeah.
Because smart.
The only reason it's a world historic event is because of our overreaction to it. Period. Okay?
Millions of people have died. What are you talking about?
Do you have any idea how people in the early part of the 19th century would have loved to have a vaccine out within a year of the Spanish or the influenza global pandemic? Yeah. You know how many people's lives would have been saved a century ago? And now you're oh God, I can't even with this guy. Imagine anyone like bigger than World War II or any of coronavirus. That sounds like a reasonable thing someone would say. He's so full of shit. Sorry, I'm just processing how much shit he has coming out of his mouth.
That's fair.
What matters is how's your family, boo, boo, boo. That's true. What matters is your family, your children, continuing your family after you're gone, and what happens when you're gone. Like those are key core questions. If you haven't even addressed those,
yourself, not your society, not your neighbor, not the country, just yourself. Yeah. Look at that. That's very revealing.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit about even the people in this room.
No, of course he doesn't. That's conservatism in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You're a fool. So I just think it's very weird that it's almost by design that we are prevented from even asking those questions or thinking about them deeply. And I would give a piece.
What are you talking about? Who is preventing you from thinking about or talking about anything? And secondly, people are talking about those things.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I think, Tucker, if we rewind to the start of this, you said that you don't have time to think about things. So people aren't, you're saying you don't think about things, but that's your fault. Don't put your shit on me.
Yeah. You know, Raven G, absolutely. I will. The joke was funny while it lasted. I will respect your request. There we go. Yes, moving on.
Some unsolicited advice, because I do have so many children. That's kind of what I do for a living. Which is, fight back against that a little bit. It's impossible to take yourself out of the society unless you're going full Unabomber, which you probably shouldn't do. Certainly not the violence part. But, there's a cost to living alone in an off-grid Montana cabin. No, it does appeal to me. And probably to others. You go off-grid Montana cabin, people. Yes, I'm on.
What the fuck are you talking about?
I don't think
is he going for the Unabomber vote?
Was he in Montana? I don't remember.
I can't remember, but
maybe
that's the basic.
In the chat, maybe the chat knows.
The basic gist of the Unabomber story. At its core, yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, so he's going for that all important Unabomber vote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a big, to be fair, that's a big vote on the right.
Yeah, I was about to say in the GOP that probably is. That's the
like
GOP base.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was Montana. It was Montana.
Of course it was. Yeah.
A wink and a nod to the Unabomber.
Yeah.
Wow. Second
I actually am on your side. I was thinking this morning when I was flying in, I was staring out the window like a dog of the plane and like watching my country.
He genuinely does. He wants to be a dog.
He does. He talks about dogs a lot.
Yeah. I was looking out the window like a dog. Are you sure you weren't just looking at the human, like a person would look out of a fucking window? Why is that a uniquely dog thing?
Yeah. Did you stick your head out of it? Were you panting?
Yeah, he was panting. He was literally drooling. He saw a squirrel. Oh, it was amazing. It was the best day ever. Fucking madman. He's a madman.
Beneath me, 40,000 feet below, and I'm like, this is an amazingly beautiful country. What sane person would choose to live, and let's do top end, $30 million, 16th floor apartment in a crowded city over a log cabin in a pine forest with the wood stove glowing as the snow falls?
Fuck off to the country, Tucker. Go.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Also,
go. Fucking go.
I'll happily live in the place with electricity, thanks.
This is the whole like man of
good
the
with
people bullshit. Oh, look at me in my high-rise building in downtown Manhattan. Why would I want that when I can live in a shack in the middle of nowhere? Because I'm just like you.
Yeah, note, he doesn't live in a shack. He does live in the middle of Manhattan, though, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Also, it's interesting that he films his show in a shack, or in a studio which is made to look like a shack, but it's clearly a studio, again, in Manhattan. So again, it's all fake nonsense. It's all fake, like...
It's all performance.
Yeah.
Like, if that was an actual choice that you were presented, would you hesitate? Of course not. So I guess the larger point is...
But you do have that choice, and you didn't hesitate. You stayed in Manhattan.
Yeah. Also, Montana, I don't know if it's really known as a great place of diversity and welcoming for not white people.
Yeah, but he's a white person.
Oh, right. So what he's really saying is a place where white people can go and feel comfortable.
Well, that's all he cares about, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, because brown people will make it dirty. He said it on his show.
Of course.
Our basic human desires are not being met by the systems that have been created. Probably a lot of reasons for that. I'm not even going to speculate. I'm just saying, I'm looking around, I'm like, this isn't working. People aren't getting what they need. Their questions aren't being answered. The meaning is being stripped from their lives. What's the point of all of this? Oh, more Amazon deliveries. No, not the point.
It's just
so
ramble.
That's bad, and it's not sustainable. That's the point. Before I explain that, let me just say, fight back a little bit by trying to turn down the noise just for like a half hour a day. Start there. It's almost like
he's just rambling. He's just a grandpa rambling.
Room and just try and
he
get off the social
Biden.
media for half an hour a day. Go and live in a shack in the woods. It's your granddad. It's your fucking granddad.
He's moaning about Biden's mental acuity.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Has he completed a sentence without going on a sideline tangent yet?
Yeah, I'm failing to see the larger theme of this talk.
Well, because he doesn't have one. He's just a breakdown.
Mm-hmm.
It's just him going, look, I could go to therapy, but instead I'm just going to shout at you people.
It's like, well, I could do work and try to improve myself, but I'm a rich white guy, so why would I?
Yeah. Exactly.
I can just do bullshit. Doesn't matter because I'm still rich.
And then pay people to do it for me or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Listen, mostly I hear nothing other than the buzz of the sauna heater, but there are other days when you hear a lot. And if you get out of the habit of listening, and by listening I just mean being quiet and turning off the crap that's coming over your phone and begging you to turn away from the things that actually matter. It's not, you don't have to become a monk or anything. You can still engage in the world. It's actually pretty low cost. But just like take a minute to be quiet and to listen for what you hear. And it's amazing. I mean, I can't believe anyone would take spiritual advice from me. I'm the last person. But it's just true. It's absolutely true. If you're just quiet for just a minute, things sort them out a little bit. And you begin to realize that, like, Twitter's ridiculous. The whole thing is ridiculous. The farther you get away from the noise, the more clearly you see it. And the more obvious it is that, not all of it, but like a lot of it's like purely manufactured, so you won't notice how horrible it is. So you'll want to be the vice president at Citibank, or you'd be like totally thrilled with your 16th floor apartment in some...
Yeah, people only want to have high-paying, important, powerful jobs because of Twitter. Don't know about you, it's the memes that made me want to not live in poverty.
Yeah. This is big brain stuff.
This is amazing.
Crumbling metroplex, huh? Who actually wants that? Nobody really wants that. But it's only until you step away a little bit that you realize that that's not what you want. Those are not your heart's desires. Those aren't natural desires. Those are manufactured desires. So here's why I think things are going to get better. I think that, I have lots of...
There's no segue there. He just went, it's manufactured desires. Anyway, things are going to get better.
Wait. So the manufactured desires you shouldn't want, but your natural desires are to fuck. So Tucker Carlson is up here basically saying, hey, everybody, let's have an orgy.
To be honest with you, that would be dope if you just turned around and went, should we all just get in a big pile and fuck? That'd be amazing.
Like Rodney Dangerfield at the end of Caddyshack.
Yeah. Hey, we're all going to get laid. Yeah, it'd be amazing. Yeah, but unfortunately I've seen this and he doesn't do that.
Aw.
He doesn't do anything anywhere remotely as interesting as that. He just rambles about made up shit for the next half an hour or whatever.
Well, less because we're doing it 125.
Well, yeah.
Let that settle, okay? I'm going to break a little new ground
We're
here.
nearly at the hype train again. We missed it last time, people. Come on.
Oh, thanks, Wayward Historian, for gifting a sub.
Toot toot. I'm doing the locomotion motion. You can't see because I'm not on camera, but I am doing it. So, which is, in many respects, is quite sad.
Or not. Whatever.
I'm
Your faith doesn't change anything.
Also, it's just annoying me now. I've noticed how it's cut off one of the signs and it just says Ing T USA. And that's annoying.
Where's that?
On the
Can you circle
left
it?
side of the screen. There.
Oh, right, yes.
It just says Ing TPUSA. It's just annoying me. I don't know why. It may be a bit of OCD or something. I'm not sure. But
Oh, yeah, and then
Let
N
me just say I don't
TPUSA here behind his arm as well. Also
yeah. Oh.
cut off. Now I showed you two. Oh, there's something over his shoulder.
think we responded well, okay? Obviously, it was a disaster. It was a complete disaster, and I'm not going to, catalog the many ways in which it was a disaster because we're all living with them, and we saw a lot of really wonderful parts of our society just evaporate, and they're gone, and they're not coming back, and it's a tough thing to face, especially if you remember, a different country that wasn't as chaotic.
What is he referring
God.
though? But what has disappeared that isn't coming back?
Yeah, exactly. What? We're not going to have restaurants in the future? We're not going to have cinemas?
Well, I don't know because, unfortunately, there are parts of society that probably aren't coming back. I mean, we talked about it off air, didn't we? About the fact that there are probably parts of the workforce
A bunch
that
of people are
aren't gonna come back.
retiring. Yeah, but that just opens up opportunities for
Well,
a
it
much
does,
younger
but-
demographic to move up. So that's fine. Like,
Well, it
that's
does,
the
but
natural
just
course of life.
But no, but I just meant in terms of the fact that you've got a potentially experienced part of the workforce and part of society that are now going to be somewhat detached from that. Now, that's a part of society that one can think isn't necessarily, it's not great that en masse that's happened, but either way, that's certainly something you could point to. But I suspect that's not what he means. But as he doesn't actually clarify, it's impossible to know.
The thing is, though, I've now known enough retired people in my life to know retirement is not the end. Like, people who retire often end up taking volunteer work, or they do part-time jobs, or maybe they start a business, or maybe they mentor, because we're living longer than ever. People are healthier than ever. Now, yeah, then they might go travel and fuck around and stuff and spend some time with grandkids. But it's not like they disappear from society. And they fill actually in a lot of ways a really important volunteer role in a lot of institutions in that way.
And they often get more involved in the lives of their grandkids and shit.
Yeah,
Which is
because they have
cool.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they pass those things on in other ways.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you to everyone with bits and subs and stuff. I won't read your messages, mainly because I'm not interested in what any of you fuckers have to say. Just throw money at me like the cheap hooker that I am and leave.
Yeah, get your energy, get your eye full.
Exactly. I mean, to be honest with you, my bus is worth the money, though. It just is. I'm not even going to go into it.
And it was just a pretty nice country, actually. No better, for sure, no better. That's the one thing you learn when you travel. So that's really sad. But, everything in life is a mixed blessing. And people who claim otherwise, either the doomsayers or the used car salesmen, they're both lying. Like, everything in the temporal
Used car
world is a
salesman?
mixed blessing. If you wake up one morning and something is all good, you're dead. You've gone to a better place. No, I'm serious. Like, that's always a lie. Oh, it's going to be all good. We just need to protect the borders of eastern Ukraine. And then we're done.
Oh, okay. No, look, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't usually use the word hooker to describe an actual sex worker. I was doing like a bit, Maria. I hope you understand that was like a comedic bit. We're pro sex worker on this channel.
Very.
Sex positive folk. I was just being like, I was playing into it. I mean, to be fair, you can argue it's a problematic old comedic stereotype, and I probably shouldn't have. But hopefully you understand that's where I'm coming from, rather than actually looking down. But I mean, I'm cheap either way. I mean, I would argue good value rather than
but
just
still
cheap.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cheap and a good value.
Affordable. I'm not out of reach. Let's put it that way. Anyway, yeah.
Might there be some unintended consequences of threatening the use of nuclear weapons? I'm just guessing. No, none. Got to. Okay, good. You sound like a wise leader. So anyway, everything is a mixed blessing. It's good and bad. It's bound up together.
He's just
in a way that's kind of hard
rambling.
to separate.
Yeah,
Look,
I don't.
He's almost making a sort of good point, like people who are doomsayers or people who say it's all brilliant. like too much. Like it's Kipling put it slightly more perfectly about was it if you can treat victory and defeat, or was it stare at victory and defeat and treat both of those imposters just the same? I think it's a much more eloquent and beautiful way of putting it, which he could have quoted or something akin to that, because it's not a brand new thing that he invented, obviously. If he'd written some sort of script rather than going off the cuff and rambling like a crazed old man at the bus stop.
Tucker needs a teleprompter.
Yeah.
Another thing we've learned from this talk.
Or charisma would also be good, rather than just being a hateful, bloviating prick.
How about contact with reality?
Would also be good.
Yeah, would also improve this
An
talk.
ass wouldn't hurt.
Again, I'm gonna debate you. He's got a puffy ass.
No, he's got a fucking diaper. What are you talking about?
He's got a diaper ass. Yeah, we'll agree on that. He's got like a Trump ass.
No. He's got a diaper. I did not say diaper ass. I did not stutter.
I'm saying he's wearing diaper ass.
I'm saying the man has got incontinence problems. No problem with that. That's fine. Medical issues. He's got a diaper. He's not got an ass.
I swear he's wearing like padded ass that you can see the seam. It's like in drag queen when they don't do their padding right.
It's. I'm sure he would be perfectly happy with that analogy. Yes.
Sorry, Drag Race.
Yeah.
RuPaul's Drag Race. Yeah. And they got like they're puffy. It's just like need to sort out their padding better.
Again, Kristi, you're going to get the transvestigators absolutely running amok with him. He's going to be the transest motherfucker in the world by next week.
His hole's turned into a long crack.
Very much so. That's how they do it. That's how the forced feminization works. Or no, it would be forced masculinization? I don't know. Either way, you can tell the lack of chin on a person, lack of ass on a person by the chin. The ass to chin ratio is.
He does have decidedly.
There's no jawline there. There's nothing. It's embarrassing.
Kevin, no bad.
Thing about Corona, in my opinion, the freedom that it gives younger people who really have just been completely screwed out of their country in a way that's very upsetting to me as the father of young people. The freedom that it gives them, at least potentially, to opt out and remain beneficiaries of the society. In other words, you can still produce things.
This might be a reference you get. Do you know Trixie Mattel and Katya?
Trixie Mattel.
That sounds like some Drag Race shit. Yeah. But I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. That's a show you watch, so
it depends on which, because there's like the US version, the UK version. The name Trixie Mattel does sound familiar. Yeah.
I'm definitely. This is definitely an off-air. Yeah. They are the stage name of Brian Michael Furcus, an American singer, actor, drag queen, and recognized quote skinny legend unquote.
Oh.
Nice.
I'll have to go back. Which season?
Good question. Hang on. There's a Wikipedia, naturally. Trixie Mattel, American drag queen from your neck of the woods, from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Oh wait, is this the really tall, thin, stunning black drag queen?
No, this person is definitely not black.
Okay, well there was someone else from Milwaukee who was.
I mean, I literally already said she's from Milwaukee, so obviously not black.
No, there was a Milwaukee drag queen who was black.
I'm doing a joke about the whiteness, Kristi.
All right. Okay. Can you share your screen share?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Hang on.
With everybody.
Stop presenting. You can see my entire screen, Kristi. Who gives a fuck at this point? Trixie Mattel.
Picture. Please.
Drag Race. It's the one on the right there. Hang on, is that on the screen for everyone? Boom. The one on the right. Season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, right. Okay.
She was the first eliminated in episode 4 and later re-entered the episode in episode 8, winning the Conjoined Twins challenge. That sounds bad. And then eliminated in episode 10. Okay. Well, there you go. And then Trixie and Katya, they do a show together, so that's presumably what...
yes, I think I actually saw a video of them reacting to something. Yeah, to go check that out.
Yeah, and the good thing about the drag queen is they always react appropriately. No, never an overreaction. That's what I've always found.
Oh, the drama is part of the fun.
Well, yeah, literally, it's part of the performance or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to our favourite new trans, Tucker Carlson.
No, Kevin, no.
Look, Kristi, you're the one that decided.
No,
that
I just looked at the hole in his pants and decided it was an asshole, and then it changed to a crack. I pointed this out. You took it to other places.
No, Kristi, look, I'm not the one doing the transvestigation here. You're the one who started going on about hip placements and stuff. I heard. I
thought his ass was facing the forward. Yeah. I thought his ass was facing the.
Well, in many respects, what is a vagina but a forward-facing ass?
You call it a front bottom in the UK. We don't call it that in the States.
Yeah, true. Although you do call the bottom a fanny, which is a slightly childish expression for a vagina here in the UK.
Yeah, it always gets titters when
and it's
Americans talk about their fanny pack.
Well, true, but this was funny and annoyed me at the same time, right? Was when John McEnroe, famous American tennis star of the 80s, was commentating during what would have been probably the early 2000s, I imagine. He's retired. He's commentating on Wimbledon, the tennis tournament, and said something about, like, the crowd were making noise and stuff, and so they had to, like, shush them. And he said, like, jokingly, that you should tell them to get their fannies back on the seats. Right? Meaning to get their posteriors back onto the seats.
Yeah, their butts.
And I thought to myself, that was funny, and like, Sue Barker was literally pissing herself laughing, as you do. And the thing is, I was thinking, like, he's been travelling to Britain since, like, the 70s.
So long. He knows.
Like, he knows, but he's thinking to himself, I can get away with this.
I can get away with it. Yeah,
exactly.
Totally. Of course he was thinking that.
Crafty bastard. They should get their pussies back on the seats. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, so that's a thing that happened. Amusement was had by all.
You can still participate. You can still use the gifts that you.
Oh God! Pause.
Totally off grid. You don't have to go.
Yeah, we talked about. So it's not a hole in his pants. Yeah, we know. It's a shadow. It's a joke. You don't have to like detail, like explain everything. It was a joke.
No, he's got a minge.
It's not a hole in his pants.
He's got a minge. Yeah.
It's his shame hair.
Exactly. It's Schammerlippen or whatever the fuck it was.
You know, full crazy permit, but you don't have to participate in the systems.
There is well, look, again, my diaper theory I think is coming forward because there's not even mini bulge.
Look, I'm telling you, I pointed out the weird thigh hugging when he came. I couldn't listen to him for the first 30 seconds because of the thigh hugging pants there. Right?
So, Barker's growler is arguably the funniest thing you've ever written, and I love it. Sorry, I'm now just thinking of Sue Barker's vagina, as you do. But Sue Barker, 1985 French Open tennis champion, British woman, used to host, I don't know if she still does, the Question of Sport. Anyway, and growler is a rather amusing reference to a vagina. So Barker's growler is a very good pun about tennis/vaginas.
You like that one, huh?
I am. I'm a fan. Decidedly, I'm a fan of Barker's growler.
But he's definitely wearing some sort of straps on his upper thigh, above his knee. I'm convinced of it.
Consider jockstrap, maybe. It's possible. Yeah. I don't know. Either way.
It might be the front of his shirt is tucked down in a big lump. And
yeah, but how?
That weird
what
bulge.
Kind of fucking? I mean, okay, but that would be a really. Look, is he wearing a fucking nightdress under there? How much material is going on?
Maybe he wants to feel sexy, and he's got some,
Maybe the pregnancy suit thing was projection. He's wearing a pregnancy suit, and the rest of it's tucked in to make him have an arse.
I like this. I want to picture Tucker in some sexy stockings now.
Oh, you're such a dirty old fuck, man. You want to ride Tucker so bad.
No, God, no.
Look, just stuff a sock in his gob so he can't
He's more
talk
your type, I think.
And go to town on him.
He's going to get that waddle on like Pierce has that you like so much.
I'll be honest with you, the neck is calling to me. Like a siren. It's just there in the distance. Come to me, Kev. Embrace me.
See if you can, how many different expressions you can put on Tucker's face as you two.
Look, all I'm saying is, me planting my face into an old man's neck is self-care. Leave me alone. We've all got our issues. That's how I deal with the harshness of life. It's just me at Piers Morgan's neck and
A happy Piers.
And
who's not talking for
30 minutes of absolute rampant buggery. You're welcome, world.
Really are, it's not an overstatement, oppressing people, making them sad, stripping the meaning from their lives, hurting them, bossing them around.
Yeah, how do we know Kristi didn't attend this wearing an FBI jacket? How do we know? I don't know where she's been for the last few days. I've got no idea. I'm not a keeper.
Yeah, it's really super easy for me. Where is this even being held? I'm assuming Texas.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Oh, close enough, yeah.
It's all fucking desert. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
both literally and socially, culturally. Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of the Texas anti-vaxxers, I'm sure, would have come over to Phoenix.
Probably, yes. Carrying vials of spit to drink each other's phlegm.
Oh, God. I thought Pierce's neck was bad enough, Kevin. Stop. Hit play.
Look. Well, exactly. I've got to compare it to other things to make it seem less gross.
Eating them on purpose. Hey, 50-year-old nurse, get the shot, or who just spent 2 years helping corona patients, who knows more about medicine than Joe Biden ever will. You're going to get fired because somehow some 79-year-old elected official knows more about science than a frontline nurse. Tell me how that works exactly. Speak slowly.
Well, no, about science. They know about medical practice, but an average nurse doesn't probably know that much about advanced immunology.
Virology. Yeah.
And that's fine, by the way. I'm not.
They don't have to,
yeah.
Right? That's not what they went to school to do.
Yeah.
But then why would you be in a profession and then reject the advice of the professionals in a way that would endanger your patients?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's like, I'm not going to wash my hands. You can't make me wash my hands. It doesn't matter if it's covered in other people's blood and phlegm. No. It's my body, my choice. No, it isn't. Get the fuck out of the hospital, you cunt.
Sorry, this is pretty funny. I'm laughing to death. Said, holy shit, 255 isn't in the chat. No wonder the chat isn't filled with stupid links.
Yeah. 255. I always miss him when he's not around.
Maybe not all the links.
Not so much the links, no. Especially when it's the same link repeated over and over again, like I haven't fucking seen it the first 20 times. But I do love him dearly. I hope he's well. I hope his owners let him in from the cold.
Yeah. And the thing is that we don't have nurses make health policies. We have people who are specialists in their field make those help make those policy decisions. And just like with washing your hands or any other required practice by your employer, if vaccination is part of it, don't cry to me that you're going to reject your own field in order to take unemployment, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, no, because you get fired, so you wouldn't get it. Yeah, exactly. That's your choice.
Yep.
Not going to risk patients' health because you don't want to take a shot that is safe.
Yep.
So I can understand.
By the way, I took the booster on Monday.
How was it?
It was administered. The first 2 days, it absolutely kicked me in the bollocks.
Oh, okay. What do you take?
Very
Which brand? What are you on?
The Pfizer.
Okay.
Yeah. The first two injections were fine. I really didn't. People were saying, "Oh, it's really bad." And I was like, "Oh, I was trepidatious." But they were fine. And then I took the booster, thinking, "Oh, I'll be all right." And I was shivering in bed and shit. I was like, "Fuck, this is gonna kill me." But it actually wasn't that bad. But it was, I'm a drama queen.
Days.
Yeah. Yeah. So for a couple of days, I was in a bad way. I had a horrible throat, really sore throat. Very strange. My 5G is absolutely pinging. Yeah, love it.
I'm at 6 months on the 29th of December, so I'll probably be getting mine in the next 2 weeks or something. Got to go to the doctor's and make an appointment.
To be fair, 255, I didn't do anything. I didn't contact you. You said leave me alone. I said a thing about you, but I didn't contact you and annoy you in any way. I am the throat goat, correct? The sore throat goat.
No.
That's oppression. That's humiliation. No one's helped by that. The only point of that is to let you know who's in charge.
No, it's to protect patient health.
And that your job is to obey. It's not your country.
No.
You don't run the hospital.
Yeah.
You're not liable for...
It doesn't make it not your country that you don't run the fucking... that you're not the manager of the entire fucking hospital.
the hospital would have liability if they had unvaccinated staff who then passed on COVID to hospital patients. They would be sued into the ground over that shit. And this is the pro-business party?
But why not just that? But like, Tucker, in any job, you don't get to just completely decide everything that happens. Like, if you go on air and just start, I don't know, shoving a dildo up your arse live on TV, fucks are going to sack you. You don't then get to turn around and go, I thought this was America. It's not even my country anymore.
Hey,
No.
Tucker, remind me of the time you stood up to Fox when they required their employees be vaccinated.
No, he got it. He was like, no, just inject it straight into my fucking face now.
So what? You're a hypocrite again. You didn't stand up. You're like, oh no, I'll take the vaccine. I'll obey my employer.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining about that though.
No. Because he doesn't want to die, but he's fine with everyone else dying. Yeah. It's conservatism 101. Fuck everyone else. I got mine.
And it's their own base.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely going to have an impact going forward. Their voters are dying.
Yeah. Or having long-term health care problems, which is going to ruin them. So what are they going to want? Government-funded health care.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, that's awesome. Like,
I mean,
I'm
they
not
don't care about shit until it happens to them.
Yeah, I'm not an accelerationist, so I'm not arguing that people should do that. But if they're going to accelerate it themselves, okay.
I can do nothing to stop people from behaving the way they are.
Let's find the silver lining, you know?
Yeah, the consequences of their own actions. That's called life.
A lot of weird right-wingers go bankrupt and suffer long-term health consequences. Bad. That's bad. That's not a cool thing to happen. But they did it to themselves, and if they then vote for a candidate that's like, actually, healthcare should be a thing that people are entitled to by being human. Yeah, cool. Awesome.
Do you think people would have thought in, like, 1905 of how we've responded to January 6th? 1905, Teddy Roosevelt was president, okay? Most popular president we ever had. Polling was young. We're kind of guessing, but I think it's pretty...
That's not true. FDR was.
Yeah, polling started to get big in like the late 1940s, early 1950s, post-war.
Yeah, and FDR was through the fucking roof.
Mm-hmm.
If he hadn't died, he'd have still been fucking president now. Like,
I mean, he's right that there were problems with sampling in a national election in the 1940s. That's why the whole Dewey versus who did he not? Truman.
Dewey versus decimal
Truman. When it said Dewey, defeats Truman,
yeah.
That's because they had sampled people who had telephones.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't realize that was actually a sort of a proxy variable for wealth, because poor people didn't have phones in at the time, so they got the polling all wrong. But they learned from it anyway. He is right on that. Polling was in its infancy.
Yeah.
But Roosevelt was incredibly popular. He was voted in president 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
They made a constitutional amendment to stop popular Democratic presidents from getting reelected.
Yeah, absolutely. Because people forget that. I've heard Americans speak, and I've had to correct them, as if that's always been the case, that there was always a term limit on the president. And then you point out, actually, no, that's within living memory. That's a pretty new thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they did it because they didn't want another Democrat to keep getting elected.
Also, you missed my fucking library joke.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading the chat because someone was telling me that I could get my booster now.
Yeah, in the North Rhine-Westphalia.
Yes, exactly.
That's the region of Germany Kristi's in.
It is.
To be clear, Teddy Roosevelt was the most popular president, youngest president we ever had. President was killed, he was VP, becomes president, serves out the...
Well, hang on, but you said it was polling was in its infancy, so how the fuck can you so declaratively say he was the most popular president ever?
Yeah.
You can't. There's no way you know that. Yeah, it's nonsense. Also, a little bit of history nonsense. These old timey things that are so different. Roosevelt used to, Teddy Roosevelt, that is, used to just regularly go into the mountains. He was president, and he'd just disappear for a fortnight and just go into the mountains. Because he was an outdoorsman type chap.
Yeah.
So he'd go hunting or whatever. And he'd just disappear. The fucking president would just go. And that was fine. And he'd just turn up again in Washington. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was just normal. They couldn't get hold of him. There was no way of doing anything. Like, it was mad. Anyway.
Also, to get political science nerdy here, the idea of the most popular president ever would be something political scientists would debate. How would you even measure that? Right? Would you be looking at their average presidential approval over the total of their terms? And what if there are one-term presidents and two-term presidents? How do you compare means with two different kind of time periods there to compare? How can you do like for like? Or is it the person who scored the highest? In which case, you could probably make the argument that right after 9/11, George W. Bush for about 2 weeks was the most popular president. But it wasn't because of anything he did. It was just a rally around the flag effect that had nothing to do at all with who would have been in the White House at the time.
And actually, it had something to do with what he did wrong by allowing that to ever happen in the first place.
Exactly. Right? Because they had the warnings. They'd been in office for 9 months at that point, and they ignored some important red flags. So, I mean, just to like, get nerdy on this, his declarative statement, just like it could be unpacked for, there are multiple papers, basically, that could come out of that comment. So, no. Also, I am such a dweeb.
Also, the person who clearly was the most popular, and by most popular I mean most Dutchly named, would be Martin van Buren. So, checkmate.
Tucker.
Whole term, elected to another. It's an amazing human being. 1905, after the election, Teddy Roosevelt's like, well, I kind of want to meet some voters. So he walks out to the lawn in front of his house, which is White House. And he says, I kind of like to talk to anyone.
The white lawn?
It's my house, but, it's also your house because it's your country. And everyone, who wants to talk about it can amble up on the lawn and we'll talk. And he stood there and talked to them. And that was not considered weird. And this guy was in office because his predecessor had been assassinated. So it wasn't like this was a time without violence. There was definitely violence. He was killed by an anarchist, a lunatic. So Teddy Roosevelt knew perfectly well the costs of opening himself up to the public. He was a very brave person. He had great physical courage personally. But he also didn't have much of a choice because it wasn't his house. It belonged to the people to whom the country belongs. And those are American citizens.
And it was built by slaves.
So when Trump had
enslaved people.
It was in his bunker with fucking 20-foot high barriers around the White House, you didn't have anything to say about that, Tucker?
Not then, no.
Interesting. Can anyone else hear the low-pitched whistling sound? Yes, that would be the awful audio that Turning Point USA have. Yeah. They just these small little problems they've had.
Not.
Yeah. It's very annoying, actually. Yeah.
Now I'm going to hear it. Damn it.
Yeah, it's like a car alarm. Once you hear it, you can't not hear it anymore until it stops.
So imagine telling someone living in that country, we just arrested people for walking down the hall in the Capitol building.
What? No, you lying sack of shit. They didn't just walk down, they broke in.
Yeah.
They broke in. Alarms are going off, and they kept coming in.
And they were singing about assassinating the vice president. That was the thing they were doing, Tucker.
They were hunting for the office of the speaker.
Yeah.
They were there to disrupt the proceedings. You lying sack of shit. You disloyal, treasonous sack of shit.
Yeah. But he knows his base. You can't realistically become a GOP candidate for anything if you don't support the January 6th people.
Yeah. And Trump. And be, pro getting COVID.
True. Yeah, I thought it was Antifa, yeah. Yeah, well, that's the dichotomy. It was both Antifa, and therefore not the right wing's fault, and also these were patriots who shouldn't be prosecuted, but they were also Antifa, but they were also patriots. Depends. Yeah. Depends what day of the week it is.
Amazing how not a single member of Antifa was arrested for the insurrection.
Well, it's because they're running the police, clearly.
Yeah, the famous lover of
the Antifas and the police. Have you ever seen them in the same room together? Is what I will say. The Antifa, they go into the phone box because that's still a thing.
Oh my
that exists. And they put on a pair of glasses, and then no one can tell the difference, like Superman.
Can you imagine if Portland, all the police that got hired were Antifa? What a difference that city would be like.
Fucking based. Yeah. Be awesome.
Antifa the police.
Yeah, I'm not.
Don't defund them. Change them over to anti-fascist.
Yeah, exactly.
officers.
Yeah. Oh, you want more police? Awesome. We've hired all of Antifa. See how you fucking like it, then, you pricks.
Now talk, Tucker. Now talk.
Exactly. As they're legally Molotoving your house.
suddenly no-knock warrants in up in gated communities would become a lot more popular instead of being protected.
Oh, what's that? You want de-escalation training for police now? Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. What's this? You don't like no-knock warrants anymore?
Yeah, exactly. ACAA. All cops are Antifa. It's true. It's a fact.
Not the people who broke the windows, the people who literally walked down the hall of the Capitol. And there are a lot of them who got arrested, like a lot of them. Of course, free them. But also pause for a minute and ask yourself, like,
They're
what the hell?
criminals.
Yeah,
They're criminals.
I was about to say, isn't this the party of law and order? What happened here? What happened to law and order, friend?
You want to imprison people for 10 years in federal prison for defacing a Confederate traitor statue.
Yeah.
With modern truth.
Oh, we talked about it, didn't we? Yeah, the weird tin can. What's his fucking name? I've totally forgotten his name. The KKK lad.
Nathan
Bedford Forrest. Yeah.
Yeah.
He got taken down, didn't he?
Yeah, I know.
I was furious. It's amazing. Have you ever seen? Have you ever
We're
seen?
We're gonna put it on a pillow for you, is what we decided.
Yeah. Oh, I think we did. Yeah.
For the hole for the mouth.
Have you ever seen a more perfect refutation of the entirety of the South than that statue?
Kevin, what if we combined the pillow of the Nathan Hale Bedford statues and the mouth? We'll put in there the cranberry fleshlight for his lips in his mouth.
Let's do this. Why hasn't that already happened?
Someone in the Discord mock that up.
Someone needs to make that a thing. Definitely. Absolutely. Well, I mean, we came up with the perfect solution to the problem, right? We'll meet the Confederates halfway, right? Half the statue can stay. We'll cut off the top bit with the man on it and just keep the horses.
Yeah.
Then you've just got awesome statues of horses.
Well, the horse was also pretty horrific, but less horrific than the man.
Well, no, to be fair, it's an animal. They didn't really know what they were doing. They were mainly just horses, to be fair.
Do you remember that medieval picture that someone drew of a horse that was all fucked up?
Yeah, the horse.
From the side is front, but from the front.
Yeah, in the front on picture, and it looked like a fucking South Park animation or something. Yeah.
Oh, medieval artists.
Yeah. And it was taken down because the private landowner died. Yes. So that's the
thing. Person running the estate was like, fuck this shit.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah, you don't need that nonsense. Yeah. Exactly, yeah, it's my favourite statue ever, that one. It's so bad, it ultimately undermines the cause it's supposed to venerate, which is perfect.
And if people were out there criticizing it all the time, there wouldn't be the social pressure to remove it in the first place.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Unless he actually did look like that, which would be amazing. I mean, the photographs don't suggest it, but in his later years, who knows? He may have turned into a creepy robot. I don't know.
What isn't his mouth like wide open?
Yeah, it's like wide. He looks like
Get the picture up.
He looks like a fucking Futurama robot. Is basically.
And then do cranberry.
No, I'm not fucking mucking it up. Nathan Bedford Forrest statue. No, there's no way I need to put any more than that statue.
I'm just now picturing you in paint, trying to fit the fleshlight cranberry jelly over his mouth and size it.
Hang on. There you go. Look at it on the screen, Kristi. You'll be on in fucking half an hour. It's amazing. Look at that. Look at it.
It's not on yet.
I think John Oliver described it as a nickel that had done ecstasy. Which is, yeah, basically.
Yeah, you could totally get the cran. Oh yeah, it's even in the right direction.
Look, it's so mental. It's so mental. Yeah. It really does look like a Futurama robot version of a Confederate general. Anyway, but unfortunately, this beautiful visage is no longer on public display.
Another one bites the dust.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's a thing.
Yeah, the eyes, Kevin. Would you have to would you stare into the eyes, you think? Or are they kind of creepy?
I'd be honest with you, I might take one of the eyes out and skullfuck it.
No,
you weren't expecting that answer.
I actually think the stare would translate pretty well.
I don't know, man. It depends what
he
mood
looks
I'm
a little. All right, anyway.
Yeah.
If you said that to someone in 1905, they said, well, yeah, it's their building, it's their capital, it's their country, they're American citizens. Who do you think?
Yeah, but if you'd said in 1905 you can't lynch black people, they'd have gone mental as well. Like, what's your point?
I don't
it's the same
think
with the dogs thing. We've progressed since then.
No, the thing is that here's actually the thing that ties these two things together is that white people don't think the rules apply to them. Lynching was a crime, just nobody prosecuted it. The white people who were in charge didn't prosecute it, right? And the same thing, what they're saying here is it was white people charging into the Capitol. You shouldn't prosecute them. They're white.
Yeah.
It's the same idea of being above the law.
Basically, yeah. Well, these were white people. They should be allowed to get away with that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Owns it. What? Like, that's insane.
No,
So
we don't literally own it as individuals. Collectively, the American people own it. It's the people's house or whatever.
Yeah,
but
like the Smithsonian.
you don't get to just break in.
No.
When the White House, do you think that you just get to stroll in and be like, "Oh, hello there, Joe. How are you? Just coming for a piss." No,
no. You do get to go up to the White House, break in a window, and climb through an office and start rifling through the papers.
Yeah.
And hunting down the chief of staff or whoever is, or the president. You don't get to do that.
I'm not a police fan generally, but I think probably my American of the Year is that black police officer
who led people away.
Who did like a Pied Piper of the fascists.
Yes.
And led them away.
Yes. Yes.
Just amazing. Like,
he should have been the person of the year.
Like, I'll be honest with you, in that situation, I think it would have been perfectly fine for him to go, you know what, fuck this, I'm clocking off for the day. Bollocks to it. Like, I don't need this shit. I thought this was a cushy gig. Who's going to attack this building?
This is fight between the white people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fuck this shit. These people don't fucking care about me either way.
Like every black service member who's ever served this country, a country that doesn't love them back the way that they deserve.
Yeah, exactly.
Assumptions have really changed, and unfortunately, and this is like, I would say 80% of my job, and luckily I'm old enough, it's pretty easy, is just to mark the passage of time and the change in attitudes. So we all remember it actually didn't used to work this way at all. Like, this wasn't how things were done. This is not what we believed. This kind of wasn't what we signed up for. This is all brand new.
White people.
And I don't care how many fake New York Times histories of America you write. I was there for a lot of it. This is nonsense.
What, in 1690? Look, I know you sound like a doddery old fuck, but you don't sound like you're 500 years old, Tucker.
Hey, he was back there during the Negro Leagues, right, trying to help promote and make profitable the various baseball teams because that's what kind of American he was in the 1940s, Kevin. He was here for a lot of it.
Yeah, he was furious. Jackie Robinson was going to be his big star, and then he went and integrated into the White Leagues. He was furious.
He was there for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was going to draft him and everything. It was a nightmare.
God,
it's not true. It's a big change. And by the way, we never voted on it. So you just kind of imposed it.
What?
So if you're a young person...
No, what are you talking about?
What? What, like the Americans with Disabilities Act, the, various equalities bills, the things that gave people their, constitutional rights and protected them?
He wasn't even on the screen. I like that. He wasn't even on the screen properly because I didn't put it back. And no one said, put it back on the screen. No one told me to center it. Yeah, fair enough.
Oh, you don't want to see his sexy thigh huggers.
They're called the audience, Kristi, please.
Person, and you're very clearly...
She's called June, please.
Excluded from this world that is being
That was you, not me.
To some extent at your expense.
Fuck it. What's she going to do? She's going to unfollow me on Twitter. Oh, no.
You respond, well, here's the upside of Corona. The promise, and it is a reality for a lot of people, is that you actually don't have to live in the places where they control you the most precisely. And, their methods of control are increasing. I mean, the problem with technology is that it empowers the government to keep track of you. Our government is so bloated, so inefficient, that in a perfect world you think, well, they're never going to find me to hassle me because they don't even come back from lunch until 3 o'clock.
Which is just the American people.
These are people who are more likely to die in their job than be fired from their job. It's just so lame that actually they can't molest you. And that would be true except for technology. And that's true. And it empowers the completely inept. That's the truth of technology. It allows people who are both dumb and useless and take 4-hour
Like
lunch
you.
breaks to know where you are anyway. It makes it really easy
What?
to control you.
What
If
is
you
he?
haven't received
What is he?
What?
So the government is single-handedly like a fucking ancient Roman, having 6-hour lunches, and quaffing champagne and all the rest of it, but
And
also
pheasant.
then going onto Twitter or something to track the American people. What are you talking about, you mad old bastard?
Not even Twitter. I think he means like, government satellites where they have your microchips beep to make sure they have
Well, that's
your
what
most updated location.
Well, I just got injected with my third shot of 5G. So
Yes.
I'm all 5G'd up.
Yeah, there's so many people in the Department of Agriculture who spend their days tracking American citizens.
Look, I thought it was weird. I thought it was very strange.
This is Alex Jones territory.
I went for a poo, and it was like thin and rectangular, and I realised, they've replaced my anus with a USB port, which is good for the 5G,
That happened after the booster, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does it to you.
All right, so I mean, yeah, it's easier to plug in now, right? It's
Yeah,
way less
absolutely,
painful than the Matrix.
I can charge my
version.
phone at my arse, yeah.
received your text from the CDC
Does that burn
reminding you about your
calories?
ninth effective vaccine, you probably will.
Yeah.
So you kind of want to be as far away from that as you possibly can be. So as I'm watching all this happen, I'm really interested in where people live because I think it tells you a lot. Totally convinced that 95% of what people
That
say
just looks so
made
weird
up.
from the side too.
Look, there's no ass there. Don't even fucking
Well, I
start with me. Don't even
Okay,
start.
all right. So where do you think there's not an ass?
At the top of his legs and the bottom of his back, where an ass should be.
I can't see how you can look at where the ass meets the jacket there. Draw a line down. He's bending his knees fine. His mid-thighs would still be relatively... There's a gap there between like the middle of his thigh and where his ass ends. I don't know, Chet.
Stop transvestigating him.
I'm just saying he doesn't have a flat ass. He doesn't have a big ass. He's got a diaper ass.
He's got a diaper.
We had this conversation.
You have kids, you'll know this, or if you have dogs, you'll learn it. No, it's true.
What's
They
his
don't
obsession
listen
with
to you at all.
dogs?
They don't. They only watch what you do. They're not stupid. They don't believe, they don't watch my show. Okay, I got it, all right, okay.
What the hell am I looking at?
You're watching a man have a breakdown.
What?
You're watching a man's life crumble.
Why has he got dogs on the brain so much?
I don't know. Is this his furry coming out?
Well, I was
do
going to say
hope
the
so.
furry, and then I just felt like I didn't want to diss the furry community that way by associating them with Tucker.
they're a Nazi furs.
Oh,
That's a
okay.
thing.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then
No, don't get me wrong. The average fur, I've got furs in my community, don't associate with those fucking pricks. I'm just saying they do. The Nazi furs do exist, though.
No, I get the idea of separation. Like, we're both white, but we both despise white supremacists. You don't.
I'm not
have
white.
To,
What are you talking
right?
about?
So,
I'm Irish. I'm a person of colour.
I'm just saying.
It's fine.
You noticed it before I did, but you're right. Well, you watched this too.
Yeah.
Before I did. The dogs are a current, just an underlying subconscious theme that keeps coming out of his conscious thoughts.
True.
Someone wants to play the dog noise on
It doesn't
times
matter to
8.
them. What they watch very carefully is what you do. What do you do? And that's how you know. If you want to know what someone really loves, watch how he spends his time. You know what I mean? They can say they love you, but if they never come home, then how much do they love you? I mean, it's just true. I'm sorry. And so I'm really interested in where people
Is he just he's just having like a existential crisis on stage about his family not loving him, and did his dog bite him? Like what? Who hurt you, Tucker?
I don't think. I hope he doesn't think he's James Joyce. He can't pull off stream of consciousness.
No, he thinks he's James Lindsay.
Worse is
Which is kind of true. Yeah.
move because you can say whatever you want, but moving is a big deal. I mean, you're moving into a new place. And the trend that I see is people are leaving the big and embracing the small. On both sides, but it's not even a partisan thing. It's like L.A. Austin, Portland Bozeman, New York Burlington.
Okay. Your dream has come true, Krista.
What's that? I see an attachment. JPEG.
Look at the screen.
Who did that? Field Weddle?
A person. A very
Don't do it would work.
A very sick person.
perfect. It's exactly what I had in mind.
It doesn't look any more ridiculous, though.
I know, right?
Which is perfect.
Now, look into the eyes.
There's some tingles. I'm telling you. We could make this work. Like, it's not on public display anymore.
That's gonna be your pillow. I need that to take it to, was it Boots? You get a pillow on a boot and it boots, right?
There's no fucking way I'm taking this image anywhere.
No, I'll take it in. That's fine.
Oh, well, that's...
You want a white pillow? It'd probably be
it's going to be necessary, yes, I feel.
Probably some
dark colours are not going to...
Not good, no.
No.
Like an off-white eggshell.
Yeah, eggshell. Cream colours.
Eggshell and background.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, you people are mental. I love you.
Okay, I have to stop looking at it or I won't stop laughing. Take it off. That might be my favorite thing ever.
In every case, people are like, the Chicago Naples people here? Of course we do. We're everywhere. Yeah, baby. Get out fast. Why are they doing that? Because it's not working. And it's not working at the most basic level. Not only is it, dangerous and the stores are boarded up and like all the obvious signs of decline and ominous signs of decline, but at the most basic level, it's not working because there's no community. What's so interesting to me is as actual communities disappear, we hear the word community.
Wasn't he just the one who, like 20 minutes ago, said that the only things you need to care about are your family and yourself and like your family?
Mm.
But now he's complaining we don't have a sense of community.
Yeah, he's full of shit.
I'm just pointing out the contradictions within his own talk.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was just banning a French fascist. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
A lot more. Everything's a community. The black community, the trans community, Latino community, everyone's got a community. Well, okay.
Dude,
listen to this. How is it different from voting culture?
Oh my god.
So it's just, where's the white community?
The white community basically set itself up over everything to the point where other people have to distinguish themselves from your sort of like white, cis, completely straight, patriarchal view of culture. People need to form communities because they can't find it in yours.
Yeah, because you specifically set it up so they couldn't.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the thing is, you're the oppressive community that's driving people to need to form other communities. That's why you don't see your own community.
Yeah.
Because you're already in it. It's the dominant, it's the hegemonic community.
Yeah. Yeah, the idea that Tucker Carlson, fucking multi-squillionaire news TV guy with a massive platform, speaking in front of an audience full of people, is marginalised.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
He's the victim of the culture.
He's standing for a room full of white people going, where's our community?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
It's in the fucking COVID ward, you pricks.
Yeah.
Of course they're not. So as things disappear, people tend to kind of pretend that they're more common. So let's see the black community, well, there are 47 million African Americans in America. A community is people who know each other, and they're each created by God and different, because all people are different. They have different interests and desires and opinions. They're not faceless.
Say different IQs, Tucker. We know that's what you want to say. That we know that's what you're hedging at there. Just say it.
They have a common experience of oppression by the white supremacist system that benefits us, Tucker.
Yeah. Just
He's
say,
leaving
Tucker,
that part out.
Some people are racially inferior. Just say it, Tucker. We know that's what you mean.
You're doing the dog whistles anyway.
Yeah. What is this? That's just weird. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. You have to look on the screen again because I can't be bothered. But
yeah, that's fine.
That's President Tuckums. That's the thing.
Oh. Sorry, I muted myself, but I said just don't show me Nathan Bedford, whatever his name is. I'll die laughing. What is it?
It's President Tuckums. Someone did that. That's a thing that a person did. Yeah.
Oh, he's a little baby.
Yeah.
Aww. Oh, it was Joy Reid, wasn't it?
Yeah, Tuckums.
Ryan who called him Tuckums. Yes.
Which is pretty good.
That is pretty good, yeah.
None of us are faceless parts of a larger whole. We're not soldiers in any way.
We've seen your larger hole, mate. Fucking hell.
political.
back.
We're people. And as they talk about community, actual communities are being destroyed by them. So what's a community? I think it's like one of the most important things in life. The community is people you know. That's what a community is. They're people you actually know, not people you think about or look like or even agree with. It's people you...
Really? Because in that case, like, America isn't a unified place then, because...
Yeah.
You don't... Like, the number of people you actually know is very small.
Tucker, if you go on holiday and you see another American, you're probably going to talk to them or at least like acknowledge them in some way because you're part of a common background.
Yeah.
So in America, when you're in America, because your whiteness blinds you, you don't see. Yeah, that same thing happens to people who aren't in your white background.
Yeah. He's a white man, but he's got a nice winter varnish.
Also, yes. It's also like you can only have community with people you know.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't understand that concept at all. That means you're limited to like maybe the 100 or so people in your life. Like, you can never find common cause with anyone else unless you personally know them.
Yeah.
But that makes no sense to me.
Which is ridiculous, yeah. 255 being mental has put rat's eyes on Tucker Carlson. As you do. Perfectly normal thing for a normal person to do normally. It's fucking creepy. That's very creepy, 255.
Oh, he looks like the when people are possessed in the TV show Supernatural, their eyes used to do that milky black cloud over into an inky set of holes. Even like... Yeah.
That's an inky set of holes, or as I like to call it. As I like to call it.
My new band name.
Octopussy. Inky set of holes. You're very welcome, world. You're very welcome.
Talk to, whose faces you recognize. If someone you love dies, and you think, oh, I really want to talk to someone, you don't call all 7,000 people in your college class. They're not your friends. You don't have 7,000 friends in college. You have like 5 friends. And they're still your friends.
What are you
talking about? That's what you call them. That's called your community.
Yeah, exactly. But Tucker, you're defeating your own point then, because then communities are really, really small. So when you say your community isn't represented, what, you and your 5 mates?
Yeah.
Is that what you're referring to? Because I don't think society should structure itself around 6 fucking pricks.
Yeah, also, like, your friends aren't necessarily your community.
Yeah.
Community means different than people you have a personal relationship with.
Yeah. And some of those probably are part of
like in a friendship kind of way. Yeah, like going to school kinds of friends.
Based on any number of different things. Like, you know, there are, obviously we talked about black community on a shared basis of oppression, but also some of those black people might be part of his community in a church, for instance, or something like that. So there are like competing different types of communities there.
Yeah, exactly.
Overlap and stuff, you know.
You know, I consider myself part of the D&D community, and I'm involved in it because in terms of things that are made, I want to make sure that they're inclusive and give me more options and make people feel welcome and be an inclusive place for everyone. Right? That's part of a community I want to participate in.
Yeah.
I don't know every single person who plays D&D, and I don't have to be able to participate in the conversation.
Yeah, a lot of virgins. Just saying.
I was going to say something really awful, but I stopped myself.
No, go on. Say it.
Well, I was just going to say, like, you know, for obviously like older virgins, you know, if you're experienced and you have them, then you can basically like set them on the right path in life.
You want to take a virgin and get them to eat you outright?
Amongst other things.
Amongst other things, but come on.
But see, that's not just for me. That's for like everyone else down the road.
Exactly. It's instruction. It's educational.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, you know, people put, but if there's, I think it's a wonderful opportunity if the people are consenting and everything is happening. So, yeah.
Those of a vagina nature, let's say, yeah, instructions are always handy, I feel. That's fine, because like, it's all different downstairs. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Like sucking a dick seems pretty easy, to be honest with you. Like it's not that
it's all
complex.
very yeah, it's a much more complicated engineering now. You know,
yeah, exactly.
For other people.
Yeah.
For a range of other people, right?
That is a strange 3-word sentence. Foreskins are fun. Okay. I mean, kinda, I guess. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing anymore. I'm a grown adult. Technically.
Community is the people you love.
Anyway, talking of foreskins, Tucker Carlson.
And so I feel like one of the results of all
talking of useless bits of skin that need to be cut away, Tucker Carlson.
This is that people know this in their bones. They know it intuitively. They need community. They need to live with other
I'm actually
people
anti-circumcision, but
not talk about
no,
that.
I am as well. But you get the joke.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke. Yes.
No, I am very much against it.
Yeah, yeah.
Until the age of majority, in which case, if you want
an elective
surgery, that's fine. Yeah.
Knock yourself out.
Whereas cutting off a bit of a child,
it's so wrong. It's so just immoral.
Not ideal. Can you hear this little prick scratching now?
Yes, he wants in or out.
Probably in, because he probably wants food.
Oh, okay.
Hang on, I'll see. Oh, God.
See what he wants.
I haven't got the fucking camera set up or the lights or anything.
So what you should do is, instead of giving him food, you should just always make him come and be in front of the he would just walked away. But that would be a way that if Rory Katz associated scratching on the door with just Kevin putting him on camera, then maybe he wouldn't, because he's trained him to be fed now. That's what's happened. Okay. Are you still hearing me?
The light is going on. I can't hear you, Kristi. I don't have headphones on. So
how did you know what I said?
It's not even... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Now he's just going to swear at us.
There we go. Boom. There he is. It
kitty cat time?
The myth, the legend.
I was just saying that what you should do is, instead of feeding him when he scratches at the door, only ever put him on camera. And then he'll learn that if he scratches at the door, he's just going to be put on camera. He won't get fed.
I'm back.
God, do I have to say it again?
I couldn't hear you.
I thought you put your headphones in while you had the cat on the camera.
I did not.
All right, so for the third time, and my apologies, chat, I was saying that you could start only ever putting him on camera when he scratches at the door. And he'll stop, because right now you give him food, which is what he wants. But if what he got instead was he got held up by you and put in front of the camera and kissed and cuddled, which is nice, but if that's all he ever got, then he'd associate, if he didn't want to get picked up and kissed and cuddled, he wouldn't scratch at the door.
But he does want to get picked up and kissed and cuddled.
Well, then you'd be able to kiss and cuddle him, which everyone wants to see anyway, so it's a win-win situation. Just never feed him when he scratches at the door when you're in that room again.
But have you seen his little face? When he does
Kevin,
his little eyes?
You're doing this to yourself. I feel no more pity for you.
I don't do it. He bullies me.
He's not going to starve in the hour
me
it
with
takes
his
you to finish the show.
But he bullies me, Kristi. He's a monster.
I hate that stuff so much. I don't even know what it's called, but whatever. Interact on the internet. That's not a community.
I have not seen Hannah's new cat. Have you got a link or something? I don't know.
Oh, you know,
That's
one of the things. Hit pause. This is true.
Go on, then.
People who want to just look at cats, whenever R&D is playing on our Rolling Left channel, he normally has his new kitten Edge perched somewhere on his shoulder.
Yeah, I've seen it's like a little pirate's parrot cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Always perched there, or playing with his earphone leads or whatever. But yeah, so you not only get D&D, you get very cute kittens, and sometimes Jess has his cat come on too. So. Yeah.
True, but you also have to put it with D&D.
And we also said in the last show, actually, that people are going to start showing up just to look at the cats. And R&D is like, oh, I very much know that. That's part of the reason why I have Edge in the room.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Get some views. Just get some cat lovers in there. So,
fair
yeah.
Enough. Oh, he's adorable. Hang on, I'll put him on the screen for everyone.
Yeah.
That's apparently Hannah's new cat called Oliver.
Which
they picked up. Well, they only picked him up yesterday, so no, I haven't seen. Look at the green eyes. Oh, looks like Rory Katz. Yeah.
Very cute. Finally came on screen. It was lagged for a while for me, but oh yes, little orange tiger. Oh, so sweet. Yeah.
Let's get through this fucking bollocks.
Oh yeah, we're pretty close.
Yeah. Super community. It's a fake community. That's not real. So, and we can feel that it's not real because it doesn't reward us. We're not elevated by it. You don't get, not that I've ever spent a night on the internet. Boy, that sounds creepy. And it sounds creepy because it is creepy, actually.
He's talking to people who spend all night on the internet.
Yeah. Like, you know, Shoe on Head, who's like your biggest, yeah, the one they're gonna have to mop up afterwards. Fucking hell. She's like lives on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's literally like
you're thinking about your over 60 audience, Tucker.
Yeah, this is some boomer shit.
Yeah, yes. This is boomer rhetoric.
Yeah.
It is creepy. I'm sorry. It is. But I don't think anyone's ever spent a night on the internet and come back and said, you know, I really feel like, really unburdened myself like they understood me. You know what I mean? Like, I am loved. I'm loved by people I'm playing online games with in New Zealand. Like, they got my back. Right. No, they don't. You don't.
I felt that way because I've got friends, and I've spent evenings where you talk to them or you play a game with them or whatever, or I'll come on and talk with Kristi for the night, and I do feel that way because I'm not surrounded by like backstabby, weird, fucking snake cunts like you, Tucker. I've got genuine human connections with people.
Yep. He doesn't understand that because he lives in a rich bubble.
Yeah, where all the friends pretend to like each other.
Yes.
And secretly despise each other. Yeah. It's very Trumpian.
You don't know them, actually, and you will never know them. You know the people who are right there with you. And so, I mean, for me, I think of it in my mind anyway as the concentric circles theory of love and obligation. So all of us are born with obligations to the people around us. And I'm a conservative. I believe in the individual, but that does not mean I don't have obligations to other individuals. I don't want to be bossed around by anybody. I'm my own man.
Sounds like communism to me. Off to the gulag.
I'm my own man, but I also have obligations.
Because I love that.
Well, it's the fascist kind, or the kind of borderline fascist or whatever paradox of radical individualism mixed with you have an ultimate duty
You're a
to
cog
the
in the
state.
wheel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very dishonest.
It's another paradox of fascism.
Yeah.
Where they want to have everything at once.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I serve them. I mean, we all do. That's the joy of life, is the commitments that we have to other people. So what are they? Well, the first circle, in my concentric circle theory that I think about my sauna, is your family. The people God put right next to you. By the way, not always the best people. True. You didn't choose them. I mean, sometimes they're kind of awful. You know, we've all lived with that. Mostly they're pretty wonderful. But it doesn't matter because they're your family. You didn't get to choose it. It's an obligation you were born with, and you got to bear up under it. You got to do the best you can. So your first obligation is to your family. And I know everyone was like cheering. Chris Cuomo was such a moron, obviously.
Yeah, this is weird. His take on the Cuomos, because we went through this, didn't we, briefly? Like him defending him, and you're like, but
yeah,
what the fuck? Like, very
nepotism.
Well, yeah, basically, yeah.
He's defending nepotism.
But it's so odd. Like, he's wrong about everything. I thought the Cuomo thing would be the one thing that left and right could go, yeah, he shouldn't have done that. That's fucked up. That was unethical of a journalist to act in that way. But no, Tucker's like, no, nepotism's the only reason I'm here.
Exactly. You can't take down a white guy for nepotism. What else have I got?
Exactly, yeah. Fuck.
Also, you're talking to a group that would probably say your first obligation is to God before even your family. So, again, misjudging the situation here a bit.
Yeah.
No, he's got a steroid problem and the whole thing. I got it. But of all the things that you could fire Chris Cuomo for, and there are a million of them, faking his quarantine, lecturing us about masks while he didn't run, pretending, Omicron was like more than a cold, whatever, the whole thing. It's ridiculous. But the thing they fired him for was family loyalty. That was actually what it was. His brother's a complete creep. He's a complete creep, but there's no brothers. I don't care what my brother did.
Well, yeah, but
here we go.
That's you saying, I don't have any journalistic ethics.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you're a slimy prick too, yeah. What a surprise.
I mean it. If he showed up and he's like, I need a fake passport to, Buenos Aires, done. Not because I agree with what he did, not because I want to break the law, but because he's my brother. That's my first obligation.
So you're literally saying you would also break the law for that? Like, Jesus Christ. Law and order, yeah. Ethics.
I hope I never am in that situation. Unfortunately, not unfortunately. I watch a lot of true crime, so I see people who unfortunately are found to be in those situations. Covering them up. I don't. They're your family, but on the other hand, if they destroyed somebody else's life,
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how you could live with yourself and not. I would have to turn. I would turn them in. I might like sort of like get them set up and put them in a place and get them safe. But if they were accused of like murder and I legitimately thought they like did it, or there was a suspicion, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Sorry, I couldn't. Couldn't do that.
I mean, that's generally true, but I have promised several people on this channel that if they ever needed a body hiding, I would do it for them. So,
Kevin, this is why you are not partnered.
Look, the promise having been made must be followed through on.
Yeah.
I mean, that is your basic obligation. Period.
Oh,
you can't get out of it.
Pause. By the way, the other thing is, when they were arrested, I would tell them, do not say anything. Don't even like give them your name, your date of birth, your address. Do not say anything. Do not talk to them. We're going to get you a lawyer. That would be the next thing I would say. So, I mean, I don't trust the police at all. I just wouldn't commit a crime to help a family member, is what I'm saying. But then as soon as I wouldn't tell them, don't say a freaking word until you see a lawyer.
I would commit crimes, but only financial crimes. Like high-level embezzlement.
I found a good set of videos by an attorney who gives you advice on how to talk to police.
How to steal money from institutions.
No, yeah. For instance, if you're pulled over on a stop, and because you know that kind of bullshit. Oh, do you know why I pulled you over? They won't. They're obviously they're asking you to admit to something. So like, do you know how fast you were going?
Because of the crimes I did, officer. Yes.
Yeah. Do you know how fast you were going? Right. So you just say no. You just like whatever they say. You just say no. And he just gives advice on like what you can, if they ask to do a search, you could just say, I decline. If they want to start a conversation, my attorney told me in these situations, I should just remain silent. Yeah. And, basically putting all of the onus on the officers to, if they want to do something, they have to find the reason. You're not going to, it's just because people try to be polite and think they can talk themselves out of shit. Yeah. And then they end up talking themselves into shit.
Which is why I cut out the middleman and just agree. I just admit to murder straight away.
Kristi the cat burglar.
Yeah. Did you know how fast you were going, sir? Yes, I did kill all of those people.
Well,
straight away. Cut out the middleman.
There is Ted Bundy was caught like twice for getting pulled over for traffic shit. And then they go look around inside the car in handcuffs. Why do you need handcuffs, sir? Can you please get out of the car? Yeah. So in that case,
well, because I'm a bit kinky. It's fine. Okay, I knew I perv. Come on.
Anyway, so
you may want to.
Getting back to a different weirdo.
Yeah. Talking of people who've almost certainly got bodies hidden in their property, Tucker Carlson.
And that
Kristi Winters does not associate herself with the comments.
There was something bigger than the government or Fauci or whatever. It's like, yeah, okay, fine, bark all you want, but it's my family. Like, the mafia were totally right about that. The Cuomo's, they were. Everyone's down on the mafia, whatever. I'm not for the mafia entirely. They did a pretty good job, let's be honest, but whatever. They did. There was no crime in Brooklyn.
The fuck?
No idea.
He's just having a meltdown about the fucking mafia being good now. I'm sure that clip won't get played when you run for president, you prick.
What do you think Shu thought about that?
I don't know if she was even
conscious yet. Yeah, she might have fainted from overheating.
Like, how long does it take a Victorian lady to recover from swooning? I don't know.
They did. And by the way, their lottery was much more fair than the one the government runs. I'm sorry, I had to get that out. It was. They actually paid you the full amount. They were like, we'll give you $1 a year for the next 1,000 years. Oh, shut up. You're scamming me. The mafia's like, here's the money. Okay. Anyway, but at the
so the mafia was fair. What the fuck is wrong with this absolute lunatic?
And people are like acting like this is a normal thing to hear. Yeah, this is just normal. Typical.
Yeah, the mafia were pretty good actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, the left are all criminals, but the mafia are awesome. What the fuck? This is madness.
Poor. You can see why no one wants to have dinner with me.
Normal laugh, normal person.
Yeah, he can't run for president with that laugh. Yeah, he can't.
That's some Joker shit. That's some Joker.
Yeah. People are just going to mock him up as a Joker. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Sorry, excuse me.
Look, of all the things that shouldn't necessarily disqualify someone, especially with his politics, because like everything else should disqualify him, that laugh, no, he's got no chance.
No, people are petty as shit.
Yeah.
Like, look at the Boris stuff. Like, what did it take? It took something like basically memeable.
Yeah. Well,
right?
Literally, in terms of petty nonsense, Ed Miliband, the leader of the Labour Party after Gordon Brown,
the hot dog picture.
Well, not hot sausage sandwich.
Sausage sandwich. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly what you're gonna say.
And they took a picture of him like eating a sausage sandwich, and he looked a bit weird in a still image of an action where your face is contorted because you're eating, and he looked a bit weird, and everyone was like, he looks weird, and he lost.
They get those. At the Ohio State Fair, corn dog bite shots.
Yeah,
same thing with politicians eating a corn dog at the Ohio State Fair, and they always try to get them looking like dicks.
True. Or was it a bacon sandwich? Whatever the fuck it was. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it was a bacon sandwich. Yeah.
Which just goes to show you, he's a bad Jew. Fact.
Or he's not a practicing Jew. He's not a perfectly fine Jewish person.
He's not a practicing Jewish person. No, that is true. Although he is Jewish. Yeah, anyway.
Yep.
His family, actually, really interesting story. His family were survivors of the Holocaust. Came over. Anyway,
I really thought his brother should have run instead, but
probably, but he was also a wanker, so I don't care.
Yeah, well, I mean, end of the day.
I think probably would have become prime minister had he run, but well, he did technically. I suppose he did run to become leader, but having failed, he just gave up.
Yeah, he went to work for an NGO. After that. Yeah. UN or something. Maybe.
Anyway, so. Anyone else not living by the kosher rules? Anyone?
Who cares? Let people eat what they want. Or not.
Including, but not limited to, pussy.
Well, yeah, that's strongly encouraged as long as everyone's cool with it.
Yeah.
At the core of the code is loyalty to your family. And that is your most basic. So, like...
Oh, yeah, sorry. I mean, having mentioned it, we have to show this now. It's still one of my favourite clips of the man. We know...
What is this?
Slavoj Žižek, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of the great leftist intellects of the modern age.
One of the great sniffers.
Yeah.
Of the 21st century.
Absolutely demolishing a couple of hot dogs.
Oh, yeah. Žižek eating a hot dog. Poor guy's just living his life, you know?
Just absolutely
just living his life,
going through it like a dose of salts.
TMZ for nerds. Around.
Anyway, that was actually was it Toronto or wherever, where he was debating Peterson. Yeah,
debate. That's a loose use of the term.
Well, where Peterson claimed to have read the Communist Manifesto, and
that was it.
That was literally his investigation of Marxism. Well done.
It's like less than 100 pages, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a booklet. It's a pamphlet, basically.
You didn't read Das Kapital.
I mean, literally.
Nothing by Engels.
Riverboat Jack, fine streamer here on the YouTubes, was doing a charity thing last night and literally read the entire thing on air. Last night on the show. But it's like, it's 100 pages, so it took like an hour or something.
I thought you meant Das Kapital.
Oh, no, not Das... No, the Communist Manifesto. No, Das Kapital would take a little... Like, she'd still be here next week doing it.
That's why I was like, wow, that's like got to be like a... Someone should filibuster that.
No.
That would be a good thing for Bernie to filibuster it.
Not just that, but she also did it. She did it in a sexy voice, which gave me weird feelings. I'll be honest, it was very strange.
Like my upstairs brain or my downstairs brain.
True.
Hate that. They hate that. They want you to tattle on your family. Ooh, your parents not wearing their mask? Call the Fauci hotline. You know, I think
What? Not tattle on your family. If you're a journalist, report fairly on a topic or completely recuse yourself. Don't cover for your sex pest brother. Or just don't cover for sex pests in general.
That would be a new thing for Tucker.
Yeah.
He started off with, Bill O'Reilly and his own, and then all the other sexual perverts at Fox.
Yeah, true.
First, actually, but thanks. I'll never do that. Like, that's the red line for me. Okay, so outside your family is what your friends. The people you chose to be in community with, the people you chose to love, people God put in your path. And you have a real obligation to them.
So nothing
and
to your country.
Blessed, you'll grow old
or
with
your
that.
other Americans.
You start when you're young, and then you wake up and you're like, damn, it's like prostate exam time. And then and then wherever that goes. And we know where it goes all the way to the end. And that's like, it's so poignant and wonderful. And if you have that experience, that was so vulgar, I'm sorry. Now you know what my group texts are about with my college roommates.
Oh, that laugh. Oh, shit, I know, bollocks.
But that is one of the greatest experiences in life, is to share it with the people you choose to share it with. Those are called your friends.
Anyway, yeah, that laugh, you can't run for president. Look, even if he becomes a great public speaker, he just does that laugh once. Like, especially if it's like during one of the presidential debates.
Be Howard Dean. Oh God, remember Howard Dean? And he yelled once after a campaign event, and they just ran him out of town on that. Yeah, howl. Yeah, he went howl, whatever.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. No. Yes, I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So. I
mean, if he's gonna bend over, like he just gonna do a fart and laugh at the same time, he's gonna be on SNL constantly.
Yeah, I suppose in the age of the meme, especially, like that's
Oh yeah, people are gonna put like fart clouds on his ass when he's laughing and bending over with things in it that he's thinking.
Yeah.
I would anyway. If I could get away with that on my account, I would be a bit more grown up. I'll say it here though.
These are not like randoms you like. These are like people you've made a commitment to. These are your lifelong friends. And you have to take that as seriously as you possibly can. And if they all want to get together for some stupid golf trip in Scotland every year and you can't really afford it and you hate golf.
What?
Because you have I'm
fucking what?
This is average man of the people, Tucker Carlson. Yeah, you know that, your close friend group, that really significant problem that happens to all normal people.
Yeah.
That, where you do your annual flying halfway around the world to play golf thing.
Probably at St. Andrews.
That's just a normal thing that everyone does, right?
Yeah, and if you don't like golf, well, go anyway, because they're your friends.
Yeah.
And
Look, I'm not even that far from Scotland, and I can't afford to go and play golf in Scotland. What the fuck?
Let alone put yourself up.
Yeah, exactly. That's an expensive trip. Yeah. Look, yeah, he's just such a privileged fucking prick.
That's his idea of like a hard.
Yeah, that's his hardship. He's like, I've got to go to play golf in Scotland. Oh.
Now, so this is like I get why Black Americans or some Black Americans say that like white people couldn't handle being black for like a day in America.
Well, he certainly couldn't. I think there probably are some white people who might be able to or whatever. Or at least would be better equipped to deal with it. Yeah.
But if this is his his most annoying thing in his life.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, I'm being hassled by my rich friend to go and play golf in Scotland. Ugh. Life is so tough. Consuela, you don't get it. You don't get it, okay?
I really like them, but I really hate golf,
Yeah. I mean, I could just go
and collect my kids and spend time with them while I make my plans because I don't really want to be with my family.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And then after you're done with that, can you clean the kitchen and shit? Because, I don't want to deal with any of that.
God, it's like so much has not changed.
Yeah. This is the thing. America pretends that it doesn't have an aristocracy.
Yeah.
It fucking does. It always has. It changes more rapidly than in some countries. It's not quite the ancien regime of pre-revolution France, but, it's no less a stratified financial hierarchy.
I mean, it's sort of obvious that, we went from people fought over land because land translated into wealth, and then wealth became a concept, not a physical property like gold or farm profits. And so imaginary, socially constructed money allowed people to just focus on dominating other people without the hassles of like paying for wars as often, or the wars that they chose to profit from. Be a bit more selective in their investments.
Yeah. To the person who asked how much was this, it was $97, which is about £70 English for a ticket to this event. So that's actually not
like 100.
Terrible, really.
For a couple of days, but then you got your hotel and people hawking crap.
No, I'm not saying it's cheap, but look, I would considering how much was it for fucking MythCon that year?
Probably like 80, something like that. I don't know, maybe even more with their packages. I think they went to the over $100 for their packages before the hotel.
So it's actually not terrible. Look, don't get me wrong, they couldn't pay me to go to the event, but if this is your sort of thing, it's not desperately expensive.
No. And I don't know, was that for one day or was that for all 3 days?
Oh, good question.
Because like I'll go to a political science conference. Well, it has been a while because of Corona and stuff, and that would run like maybe 170 to 10 for the conference registration fee for a 3-day conference. But that oftentimes included lunches because they just like put out a bunch of food so we could eat and go back and be nerds some more really quick and not leave the venue, the university usually.
I can't. Hang on. Apologies. I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to. It doesn't.
You want to show me the screen?
No.
We could all look together.
I could look.
Another set of eyes.
Hang on a minute.
They're like packages.
Student registration attended.
Oh yeah, it's probably a student fee.
Yeah,
right?
it's actually students were cheaper. They were $30, but you were responsible for paying a cancellation fee of $200.
What?
So you were locked in if you were a student.
Yeah, you're not getting that 30 back.
No.
How can you lock in for more than the cost of the ticket? How is that legal?
I have no idea. Attendee information.
Just say you don't issue refunds
Attendees
at that
over
point.
the age of 26 can purchase a ticket here.
It's really boring to look at Tucker. Like, show us the screen on this.
After. Well, no, hang on. Well, I mean, I can just show you the fucking thing. Okay.
Because right now we're just staring at Tucker's silly face.
Okay, well,
I regret asking now.
TPUSA lodging. TPUSA has a limited number of rooms through a booking discounted rate of $159 a night. So that's pretty,
okay. Yep, that's
pretty steep.
A block of hotels. Well, yeah, they get block probably at a slight discount. Yeah, registration. That's what you want.
But it doesn't give me prices there. The other site had it said sold out. So they're just not going to tell you the price because it's sold out. I think it's because the event's already happened.
Fees, yeah.
Does not provide lodging or meals for adults.
Yeah.
So hang on, you're paying $159 a night and you're not even getting a meal.
At the hotel, probably not.
Tickets can be found.
Is there a link?
And for student tickets.
It's not like it was sold out. There were still empty seats.
Yeah. No, it's not. It's not telling me what the prices are now.
Yeah, well, okay.
Okay, well, anyway.
Back to Tucker. I'm going to wrap this up.
Yeah.
After that are the people that you work with, who we often call co-workers, which is a phrase made up by some HR department somewhere, which I, for some reason, hate.
No, it just means a person you work. What the fuck? What a weird thing to complain about.
What?
Talk about snowflakery.
What?
Co-workers. Oh, that's a terrible. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's like, do you also oppose the word colleague? What else are you supposed to call your fellow workers? What do you want to call them? What's wrong with co? Do you work together cooperatively? Do you not know what the word co?
Tucker's persona there.
Why get mad at coworkers?
Can you see that yet?
Oh yes, Tucker as what kind of dog is that?
That's it. I don't know, but that's his persona. I know that's the thing.
Someone in the Discord just went ahead and did it, huh?
Yeah. Nice. That's what my people do. I think they probably listen to my words of wisdom, dropping like pearls from the sky.
Yeah.
And then do some
Then make
images.
manifest. Yeah. They take inspiration and they make manifest the image in your head. I have to say that the Nathan Bedford Hale statue mock-up was 100% exactly what I had pictured. Yeah. Except I still had the full jelly, the full length of the fleshlight. So just
well, presumably, but it's inside, Kristi.
Right? No, I get it. So I was having a kind of a hard time just picturing only the lips, but nailed it.
Absolutely. Shameful lips, definitely.
Co-workers.
See, nice tie back.
Guys I work with.
Or call
people at work. And if you have a job that you don't hate, you hope you're working towards something that's worth doing. You're adding something, whatever it is. I'm serious. Work is a huge source of meaning in our lives. And if it's not, you should do something else. And you should use the gifts that you were born with. You shouldn't waste your time on stuff you can't do. I could talk to you for hours about all the things I thought I could do and couldn't. And I was finally like, okay, let's do the one thing I can do. I can talk, I'll do that. And that's what I did. And that's true for every
Look at the fold there. There's definitely a tussie going on. Look at it. That's...
I mean, he just has the agency to do these things. And it doesn't honestly fathom that someone could just like quit their job at McDonald's and just wait around for the job that they really want to do in life. Like that's not how people need to feed themselves and house themselves, and they do shit jobs because they have to do those other things. And he just like can't fathom a world where you just aren't doing what you enjoy.
That's amazing. According to dictionary.com, the first use of co-worker was in 1635.
Yeah, damn HR back in 1635.
The political correctness of the mid-17th century.
Nice.
Outrageous.
Nice. Whoever did that, thank you.
And usually you find that
By
there's a
Pagan
massive
Man,
difference between
who you should go and follow on
Nice
TikTok.
one.
Awesome mustache. Awesome person.
some things and other things. Some things you're really naturally good at, and some things you're really bad at. You know, I can't add 3-digit numbers, never have been able to. Okay, it's fine. It actually hasn't, I just sort of gave up and, you know, whatever. Had a happy life anyway. I focused on the things.
Yeah, because you're rich as fuck. Yeah, you don't need to have basic skills.
I would love to see him live off minimum wage for a year.
I'd love to see any of these pricks who like vote against the minimum wage raising.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you live on minimum wage anywhere in the country.
Yeah.
Go to the poorest place and try and live on fucking minimum wage, you cunt.
All right, I'll tell you what, you know, you say, okay, a minimum wage for a year, oh, people would get a raise. Okay, so 3 months on minimum wage, and then after 3 months, if you make it through your probationary period, being a fry maker or something, you know, like a service job, you get a 25-cent an hour raise. How about that?
Yeah.
Because that's what people fucking get. Or $1. We'll give you $8.25 an hour to live on for a year. Let's see how you do, Tucker.
That I like to do and that I'm good at, which are usually related. They're usually the same thing. If you really have a love for something, it suggests, it doesn't prove, but it suggests that you have a natural aptitude for it. Do that. And if you find
Fuck
yourself doing
Survivor. Get rich people to live off minimum wage on television for a couple months and see if they
I'd
can
watch
last.
the fuck out of that.
No shit, right? But they won't do it because
Tucker
they'd rather
Carlson having
eat
to
bugs than be poor.
Having to fucking hand wash his tighty whities because he can't afford to go to the laundrette. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You'll really find meaning in that and value. You know, everybody has something
Pitch
that's
that
also
to
hokey, but it's
Channel
totally real.
4.
Everyone has something to give. Like you've got the stuff inside you and you want to get it out. And you love the people around you and you love your country and you want to make it a little better. You can't save it. No one's in charge of it, but you can make it a little better for the people right around you, and you should. And that's called your job. And because
that's how you do it. It's not by giving a fuck about other people. It's by doing your own job and servicing capital. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah. What a wonderful life message, Tucker.
And you're complaining that America has lost a sense of community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we should all be community, but you should also focus solely on your individual atomized cog in the machine job.
Be a selfish prick. But this is exactly what money does to people.
Yep.
Money, studies show, turn people into less empathetic, like more socially, like just, like not caring pricks.
Yeah.
that has meaning, you have an obligation to the people that you work with, even if they're kind of annoying. Why? Because they're in your path. That's why. So we spend way too much time thinking about people we will never meet, not that they're bad people, not that we shouldn't care about them. If there's a mudslide in Bangladesh, I'm sad about it. I mean that. I don't want anyone to be hurt. I hate.
Yeah, you sound really fucking sad about the mudslide in Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Interesting you chose a brown people place, by the way, didn't I?
Mm-hmm. Also, but you don't care about unarmed people of color getting shot by the police. You don't talk about it as much as you talk about white people getting a little bit of hassle.
I don't want to see people get harmed, but I will publicly wank off a double murderer.
Yeah, he'll do that.
But I don't want to see people get hurt. That would be crazy.
Yeah, you're going to spend more time whining about white people being slightly inconvenienced for wearing a mask. Because that's his audience. He doesn't care about people of color who don't want to wear masks or whatever else. It's his audience, right?
Well, actually, I will say that is one of the most annoying arguments I've heard from the anti-mask, anti-vax pricks who will try and co-opt and weaponize that as like, well, the Tuskegee experiment, blah, 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 therefore black people shouldn't want to... Like, you don't give a fuck about any of that.
No.
You only just, for a start, you only just learned about that, I can tell. And secondly, you don't actually care about black people in any other sphere other than when you can weaponize them to try and get out of the minor inconvenience of putting a mask on when you go into the shop, so that the minimum wage worker who you are keeping in permanent fucking poverty doesn't instantly keel over and die, you selfish cunt.
People are things to be used when it's convenient and then put away.
You see, Tucker, we found community. I've let that rant out. I feel better. This is cathartic for me.
Good.
Hate natural disasters. All normal people do. But it's not my obligation to fix that because they're not in my path. So be very wary
fuck
of
'em.
people who are giving you long
Basically.
lectures about...
I'll never meet these Bangladeshis, so I'll just let them fucking starve and just
Yeah.
die.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not going to ask my government to help out or anything because,
No.
I've got mine and that's all I really care about
Yeah.
because I'm a selfish prick.
Yep.
improving the lives of people they've never met while the people around them wither, which is absolutely the model for so many of our leaders. And look, you're not entirely in control of your children, and good people have kids that go wrong or whatever, but if all your kids go wrong, maybe there's a moment when you're like, is there a moment of internal reckoning? And it probably should be. I don't want to blame anybody. I don't want to be judgy about it. No parent wants to judge anybody else's parenting.
And his kids
Yeah,
are
I was about
criminals.
to say, they're all fucked, yeah.
They're criminals.
They're literally banned from running fucking charities.
They're basically like a barely legal mafia syndicate.
But the mafia are
over
good.
there.
He already told you, Krista.
Oh, right. Yeah, he was caping for Donald. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Know that there are factors that you can't control. Genetics, for one thing. I mean, this stuff is very complicated.
Hang on, what? So criminality is genetic now or something? Is that what he's saying? I don't know. I mean, Tucker, just get the calipers out and start measuring skulls, mate.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it.
Do your phrenology, mate.
Yeah.
But that should be your major concern. And if
Also,
that goes
is the
off the
cameraman
rails,
having
maybe
a
you should spend more
fucking
time
fit?
doing it
Yeah,
before
just
you try
hold
and take
still.
control of a country.
Stop
And
bouncing up and down on the
impose your
I
platform.
feel like I'm watching Jump again. Not Jump. What was it called? The parkour Christian movie.
Oh, right. Leap.
Leap. Yeah, I'm watching Leap again with a fucking shaky handheld camera. Because tripods are the work of the devil.
On people who actually don't need your help.
Down with Steadicam.
Maybe you should do that. But it's never that way. It's always the opposite of that. It's the people who have no interest in dealing with the problems that are right around them, that God put right in their path. It's like right in your face. Someone you love, you're related to, you're obligated to, someone you see every day needs your help, but you turn away to go help people you've never met. Maybe you're in this business in the first place.
Okay, so you live in New York, so presumably there can't be any homeless people in New York because Tucker would have helped them because he sees them, right?
I'm just going to say that he is currently... sorry, I'm a little bit blown because he doesn't... Obviously, he's an Episcopalian. I'm understanding Tucker.
Is that one of those people that's like a vegetarian but they also eat fish?
He doesn't understand evangelical Christians, right? Because evangelical Christians go on missions. And that's precisely what they do. They leave their families in order to dedicate their lives to talk to strangers. So again, he's just completely misjudging his audience here. He's telling them that you're wrong for going and following God and not putting your family first. Great.
Kristi, don't ignore my pescatarian joke.
Okay, I'm sorry. I had to get that out of my brain because that light bulb just went off. What was it again? Yes, they can eat things. A pescatarian?
A pescatarian is a person who eats fish as well as fish.
Yeah, I know what a pescatarian is. So an Episcopalian.
Although I prefer the phrase, which I heard, and it's not official, but I like it. Vegetarian is good.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah. That is good. I hate seafood.
Because there's a huge hollow space inside.
More for them.
That you can't fill. I mean, this is super mean, but I'm just going to say it. After 35 years in D.C., I began to wonder, why are all the politicians weird? And I don't mean weird in how they vote. Some of it I agree with it, others I don't. But why are they weird on the most basic level? What percentage of members of Congress go home to a happy personal scene? I'm serious. I mean, there's some. I think I met one in the 90s. No, I'm just kidding. No, I do think they exist. There are not a ton of them. There are not a ton of them who open the door and their spouse goes, "I'm so glad you're home. Oh, I missed you." Kids run up, dogs.
How do you know this?
Yeah,
dogs again.
How does he...
the rise and fall of...
Fuck off. How does he know this? And what is he judging... What's the threshold? Also, what fucking family is he talking about? Other than a Nazi fantasy land where you get home and everyone's like, "Wow, Dad's back. Oh, I missed you." No, you just go...
Nazi fantasy land?
You just go, "You're alright. How was your day?"
Yeah.
That's about that. That's...
Come in, give a kiss on the cheek. Well, sit down, have a chat. Yeah, it's not like a freaking 1950s Christmas movie. Yeah. Also, he's trashing all Republicans here too.
Yeah. Especially because this is a room of people who absolutely love Trump. Do you think for a second Trump's family life is good?
Oh, no.
His wife is openly hateful of him.
Yeah. Rolls her eyes at him, drops her smile when she gets thinks he's not looking.
She doesn't want to touch him. She doesn't want to be anywhere near him. It feels like she's a fucking hostage.
God.
But everyone else is weird.
Yeah, Tucker.
Not any of that going on, actually, for most of these people. There's just not. I'm sorry. It's true. I've seen it. This is a disproportionately unhappy
He only
group
hangs out with
very sad
Republicans.
personal
Yeah.
lives. And I mean, like, over 90%. So I'm watching this and I'm thinking, well, that's kind of weird. Because if I opened the phone book and picked 535 people, just completely random, and put them in charge of the country, what percentage would have sad, barren personal lives? I don't know, maybe 40%. I don't know, depending on the year. Tough year, 60%. It would not be 95%.
But you haven't shown in any way that 95% is an appropriate number for all politicians in DC.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
This is
maybe
weird.
it's true. Look, it's possible because of the high stress nature of the job that maybe there is like an overrepresentation of like poor family relations or something. I don't know, maybe. But 95%? I don't know, man. That seems a bit...
95% of his Republican friends it can't be stood by
Yeah,
their
that's
wives.
because they're all fucking...
Is what he's saying.
Because
Yeah.
they're all fucking secretly pedos on the side and their wife is a fucking drinks to cover the pain. Yeah. Like, yeah, true. They all vote against gay legislation and then get caught sucking off a policeman at a fucking restroom bath stop. Yeah. True, Tucker. Correct.
Absolutely would not be.
So full of shit.
It's just like the laws of averages don't get us to 95%. So there's clearly a connection between the sadness in the parts of your life that mean the most. The only things you will care about in your final moments, trust me. The only things.
What do you mean, trust me? Like you've died? What are you talking about? Trust me. Now, you can say that when you've got some experience / expertise, and you don't.
Yeah, when you don't. Yeah, like I don't know. I keep thinking he looks like a nutcracker, or maybe like someone who like I don't know, guy who works at the golf course. Just that the tan pants. I can't get over the tan pants.
Well, no, there's a word for it here in Britain. He looks like a cunt.
That one also works.
Proper cunt. Yeah. As soon as he waddled on in his fucking diaper shit-filled fucking tan pants, I thought...
To fireworks.
Yeah, to fireworks, yeah. No wonder he shit himself. He wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
The only things that actually matter, no, it's not your job, it's your family and people you love. That's all that matters. Other people are all that matter. And yet the people in charge have the least of that. What the hell is that? And of course it's compensating. It's exactly what it is. You can't have wise leadership from people with unbalanced lives. You just can't. You can't.
That's not true. What are you talking about? You can. I mean, ideally, you probably want someone down to earth with a good family background, but, like, okay.
Those people don't run for office.
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking. Like...
You have to be a bit of a narcissist to be a politician.
Yeah. Okay. Like, let's ignore some of the critiques I've made of this person in the past, but they're seen as a national hero here in Britain. Let's just go with that for a second. Winston Churchill was a fucking alcoholic. He had severe depressive episodes. He was a very, very damaged man in a number of ways. And yet he's seen by many people here as one of the greatest leaders we've ever had. Clearly, having an unstable home life does not necessarily preclude you from being a good leader.
No. It doesn't make you a great leader, or even a good one, but it doesn't preclude you from it. No.
Yeah. FDR was a serial adulterer. To the point where his he managed to rope his daughter into arranging and hiding one of his affairs. He was a deeply fucked up man in many respects. Again, one of the most popular and effective leaders in American history.
Yeah. Hid his illness from the nation.
Yeah.
You know,
including,
basically,
at one point, I believe I'm right in saying his heart was 4 times the size it should naturally have been. It was one of the early X-rays of a president. And it's massive. It's ridiculous. He was enormously unhealthy.
Oof, poor guy.
He could barely move at points.
Just anyone in that situation.
He carried on, chugging
Yeah.
along.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So that's, again, it doesn't preclude. Look, I'm not saying you should encourage broken people necessarily in that respect, but he's just wrong. He has this weird
Tucker is wrong.
Purity bullshit,
Yes, that doesn't map onto any reality.
No. And you can end up with I don't know, Barack Obama with one of the most wholesome family lives of any leader ever, who also was fine, whatever.
His kids aren't like getting in trouble.
No.
I mean, I think one of them was like had picture smoking pot or whatever. But like,
unlike any other teenager in history.
Yeah, exactly.
Never happened before.
Still married, still happily married. Just he's like definitely.
Also, I mean, I would also bring up one of his major scandals, but unfortunately,
in that way,
we're watching it on stream with the tan pants.
Tan suit. Yeah. Yes.
Although, well, to be fair, the jacket isn't tan, so he's not a degenerate. Blaze.
But the tie has a tan striping, so yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got to appeal to the the politically correct wokerati.
Yeah, Tucker's worried about that.
And it's not a matter of knowledge and what the data are. Okay. Got Google? I was going to say we could find the data, but of course they've all been hidden. Got DuckDuckGo? Anyway, but the point is, the facts are ascertainable.
Yeah, Boris Johnson, again, a man I despise intensely, but won a massive majority, even though he's cheated on all of his wives and has an indeterminate number of children. Again, it doesn't, the home life doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Nope.
Now, he is, to be fair, a shit leader, but was popular. He isn't anymore. But...
No, he's not. Not if they're chanting about him at darts.
No. Although, to be fair, it was only 2 years ago he got a big majority, so, things turn fast when you're really shit in your job.
Yeah, and he's always been shit at his job. He's always failed forward. He literally can't fail anymore, forward.
Yeah.
He's reached the end of it, and he's really taken himself down.
Yeah.
The question is, what do they mean? That's the question. So that's not a matter of knowledge, that's a matter of wisdom. So any intern can gather, the data, but it takes someone who understands what's important, understands people, understands life in its full scope, understands we're going to be here next week, so let's think ahead to that point at very least, understands that we're all going to go away and be replaced by other people, maybe we should care about them. It takes someone like that to make decisions based on that information, and that's exactly what we don't have.
What the fuck is he talking about? That's what the Green New Deal is about.
Yeah.
Because they live in a hermetically sealed, airless world where they're really, really worried about getting super sick, which I'm sympathetic to that.
Data are the plural of datum.
People who are 25 and at no risk at all should pay the cost for that. I get that you're concerned, and I respect that, and I have relatives in that position. I can't overstate how much I'm not mocking and how seriously I'm taking those fears because I think they're grounded. I'm not making fun of anybody. We all have to decide, what we're afraid of and how we're going to respond to it. What I think is completely unacceptable is destroying the next generation of Americans because you're afraid. I think it's cowardly. I think it's disgusting. I think it's one of the great crimes ever committed.
Well, yeah, stop the banning of certain teaching of certain subjects then.
Yeah, you'd think that would be a place to start. Teach the full truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
True. Oh God, we got minutes.
Yeah, only minutes.
It's totally cowardly. I'm 52, so, I'm more than halfway there. And I'd rather leave tonight than see my kids destroyed. Any normal person would. Any normal person would hesitate for 1 second. Not 1 second. Well, I could live another 30 years and play more golf. Or my kids could thrive. I'm going to just have to take a weekend to think about it. No normal person thinks that way. And if you're in charge of a country, you have to
your
think
rich-ass kids are going to be fine, motherfucker.
You narcissistic creep.
Wow. You're the narcissistic creep.
Oh, I'm so afraid. Okay, you're so afraid. I don't judge you. We all have irrational fears. We all have actually some rational fears.
God,
there are
he's
things
such
to be
a
afraid
prick.
of. It's all right.
Look, being afraid of COVID is not irrational. It's killed pushing towards 1 million people in America and will almost certainly surpass that figure.
Mm-hmm. He is basically preaching being a sociopath.
Yeah.
Really, don't care about anything unless it's important to you. Yeah. Don't give a shit about anything unless it's personally important to you, and that's all you have to care about, and fuck everyone else. That's, conservatism.
Yeah.
But you can't lead if you're afraid. That is totally disqualifying. Terrified people shouldn't be in charge of anything. Terrified people says, who? So this is the most obvious thing in world history. No country.
I'm just going to say, I can't imagine anyone in any battle who wasn't afraid.
Yeah, you'd have to be a psychopath. Yeah.
Yeah. You just live through the fear and you don't let it dominate you.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with being afraid. It's a physiological reaction to a threat. If you're not afraid, you're probably going to, be eaten by a lion. So it's a good thing. It's just about how you handle it. So this demonization of fear as if it's a weakness, it's a biological reaction. It's just like this toxic masculinity. You have to be an unfeeling, Terminator sociopath.
And it's especially funny coming from this limp-wristed fucking effete, fucking silver spoon, the softest-handed, fucking jawline-lacking piece of garbage we're seeing in front of us right now. Like, motherfucker, the slightest bit of fucking pressure, you'd crumble like a styrofoam cup, you cunt. Shut up.
Yeah, his biggest his biggest problem was having to golf in Scotland.
Yeah, that was his go-to, like, terrible thing, was having to say no to his friends going to Scotland.
Isn't life a pain?
Yeah, it is ridiculous. He doesn't have a chin. He just doesn't.
It just drops off.
Yeah.
He puts terrified people in charge. It's like there's no animal species that does that. Oh, the whimpering dog's going to lead the pack. That's a good idea.
Dog again.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely know what his first owner is. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a definite canine theme.
Yep. He likes the floppy ears. Maybe it's a tail, you think? I don't know, but
no, it's the anus. He wants to fuck dogs' anuses. Tucker, you can quote me on that. Tucker Carlson wants to fuck dogs in the bum. Kevin Logan, 2021.
No! Whimpering dog gets to the back. He follows the big brave dog. Like, that's how life is. How far are you from nature that you think it's a good idea to put a terrified old guy in charge of Corona?
Did better than Trump.
Yeah.
He did way fucking better than your guy did.
All I'll say is that Trump was the terrified guy who was in charge of Corona.
Yeah.
Didn't work out well.
Do you remember? I remember us sitting doing happy hour, watching Trump say, "Oh, we're gonna have, maybe 60,000, cap of 100. That's not bad." The Civil War, where they had 600,000 people die in the war, which isn't the right number anyway. But it's not gonna be anything near that. By the time he left, it was there.
Yeah.
So, and now you're telling people don't get vaccinated, don't wear masks, and also Biden is to blame because coronavirus is still around.
Okay, I quite like.
It's a global pandemic.
I quite like Pugger Carlson. I'll put that on the screen.
Pugger Carlson? Oh,
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
Pugger Carlson from now on.
It's on the screen. If you, I don't know if you can see that, but
Not quite yet.
someone
Still see.
who did that? Pandinus Rex. There you
Is
go.
that with his demon eyes still?
I think so. So it's the eyes of a rat, the face of a rat, and the body of a pug. So
And the brain of, and the smell of a rat.
yeah.
And the brain of a fascist.
I mean it. So here's the upside. This can't continue. Nature writes the rules. We don't. And Joe Biden certainly doesn't. Nature writes the rules. Period. We're not in charge of those rules that are immutable. They apply to the Romans. They apply to us. These are the laws of nature. We are subject to them whether we want to. We can't change them. We can't transition out of them. We can't identify as being exempt from them.
Fewer than dogs.
Because they don't change. They don't care what we think. Nature, God, is outside of our control. We can only respond. That's it. And we can respond wisely or we can respond foolishly, but we can't pretend we're in charge of it. You spend the night in a snowstorm in your boxers, you're going to die. You can't identify as warm. It will kill you.
What the fuck did that happen? Wow. So just throw in some transphobia now?
Yeah, just do the one joke. It's just always the one joke.
Here, the thing is, Tucker, in your analogy, the vaxxers are the ones outside in the boxer shorts, and people are telling you to put clothes on, and they're calling you oppressors for telling them to do what is in their best interest to protect their health. You moron.
Yeah. Also, correct. Sorry, I completely forgot. He's mentioned Rome twice, and I just want to point out that ancient Rome didn't exist. So he's factually wrong on two occasions there. Checkmate, libs.
No, it's true. So that's not like some crackpot right-wing theory I thought up this afternoon.
No,
I'm speaking a turning point. Better torque up the politics. That's like the truest thing there is. And if you forget that at scale, like as a country, it just doesn't work. It will never work. I don't care.
Can you pause it?
People with degrees.
So what he's saying is if that a small percentage of the population is able to live freely as themselves, as trans people or non-binary, somehow that's a threat to everybody else because nature?
Yeah.
I want to get the shit reasoning in summary bullet points here. See if I work my way back to where this was started.
Yeah, it's just weird, like, flailing at
Yes,
the
desperate.
changing nature of the world and being scared about that, which is ironic because he's saying don't be scared whilst trying to make people scared.
Yeah. Again.
And like just throwing weird cultural shit at the wall and seeing what'll stick.
What gets me an applause line?
I don't think he's mentioned CRT actually, has he? He's sort of hinted
still
at
has
that
2 minutes.
that direction, but
No, he kind of did the whole BLM thing.
yeah,
Dog whistles. So, but he didn't do enough for James Lindsay, obviously.
oh no, clearly not. James Lindsay will probably only come 3 or 4 times due to this speech, rather than the usual dozen. You know,
Yeah.
not enough CRT for the Jimbo.
Agrees on Twitter are telling you that's just not real. And it will snap back because it has to. If it can't continue, it won't, and it won't. So all you need to do is get as far away from these people as you possibly can so you can stay sane.
Apparently progress can be stopped and reversed.
I've done it. I'm not going to get into my weird personal life, which is totally not weird. The one thing I'll say about it is, like, I opted out of that. I don't want to be around that stuff anymore. And at my age, I'm just not going to be. I'm not going to be around that. I'm not going to be around it for one more minute of my life. And I have a flexible job, and so I'm not around it. I'm not around any crazy people. I'm around people who disagree with me. That's totally fine with me. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I don't mind being disagreed with.
Yeah, that's why I work at Fox News and never interview anyone who disagrees with me in any way whatsoever.
Yeah, so but isn't he basically saying that he's built himself a safe space of people he can only wants to deal with, and he doesn't have to deal with anyone he doesn't have to, and so he self-selected and curated his own little world of whiteness that reflects how right he is back to him in his own echo chamber.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I thought he said. Yeah. Okay.
I'm always right. I'm often wrong. But I definitely don't want to be around crazy people who want to wreck stuff. Absolutely not. I want to be around happy people who want to build stuff. And there are only 2 kinds of people. You're either creating something beautiful or you're tearing it down. That's it. That's it.
You're the one tearing it down, Tucker.
What kind of weird black and white bullshit is this?
Simplistic fascistic thinking.
Most people aren't doing either of those things. Most people are just like
living their lives.
Yeah, just going to the shop to buy some milk.
Yeah,
like, they're not doing any of those things. Yeah.
There are a lot of people who decide that it's even though it's none of their fucking business to go up to other people who are just living their lives and following the rules and give them shit, because those people are pieces of shit who can't handle equality and human dignity and respect.
I would argue that allowing, he mentioned, albeit in passing, sort of trans people or whatever and their existence. I would argue allowing trans people to exist comfortably and safely for the first time in human history would be a monumentally beautiful thing and progress for humanity.
Massive progress.
So, but in that instance, Tucker's definitely the one trying to tear it down.
Yeah, people who go over to other people just living their lives and try to ruin their day because they're a prick, they're not good people. Like, they're not helping society and they're not doing anything to help their families. They're just being pricks.
Yeah, I'm building something beautiful by bullying someone who looks too masculine for me in the toilet.
Yes.
What the fuck? What is wrong
As if it's my business to police that.
Yeah. Also, well, actually, I'll bring it up more concretely on Friday. But did you see the international Quidditch leagues have decided to rename themselves?
No.
Because Quidditch, for those who don't know, is a sport
Harry Potter.
in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And because J.K. Rowling's a transphobic shitbag, the leagues have literally decided to rename their sport because they don't want to be associated with it anymore.
Oh, wow. Good for them.
Even Quidditch nerds don't want to be associated with her fucking brain rot.
Turfness. Yeah, and she's doing it to herself. She constantly goes on about it. You know, I see that they're having the Harry Potter reunion without her.
No one wants anything. No one wants anything to do with that shit. And it's the same. Look, I mean, she's obviously much better off than
Glinner.
Than Glinner. Like, I don't think we're ever going to see her tweet. He took the cheese grater. Because she's a billionaire, she could afford to build a house of cheese graters if she wanted.
Sorry, can we just sit with the moment she took the cheese grater? Actual tweet.
That is honestly. That is the biggest L I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, because he's not dirt poor. Just go and get a cheese grater, you prick. What they're not available to buy.
It is the banality of the destruction of his own life.
Yeah. And they do it to themselves. And I'm absolutely convinced there's something about transphobia specifically. Is it specifically? I mean, there's some racism works to a degree in the same way.
Yeah.
That
some people get focused on their different...
It kind of rots their brain in some way. It's like a kind of almost a kind of psychological cancer that just eats away at the person.
Like a personal campaign for them.
Yeah.
Like a personal mission.
Remember when Glenna used to be like a successful and moderately loved comedy writer back in the 90s?
Yeah.
Like,
he was
that was the thing.
spouting hate.
Yeah. And now he's like a weird chud.
Yep.
Do you remember when Harry Potter was written by that woman who people were like...
Everyone loved.
Yeah, like, I'm glad she's been successful. That's awesome. Cool.
Yep. Single mom, all that kind of stuff,
Yeah. And now it's like...
she's a horrible
literally
bigot.
not even invited to the reunion of the story she wrote. Like that's if there's not a wake-up call for you there, I don't know what to do. I don't know how better to get that across to you that you fucked it.
But I still can't. I'm still going to go on about it. Just the idea of opening up the drawer and the absence of the cheese grater, encapsulating the absence of the life that he used to have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just so poignant.
Well, it is. It's the middle-aged man who thinks he's gonna have it better or something, and he just ends up like he sat in the laundrette going like, I've wasted my life here. What have I done? I've broken my fucking life.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, you can tell the impact because he didn't like just go, oh, I haven't got a cheese grater, I'll nip down the shop and get a cheese grater.
It was just that one
hit
sentence.
him like a ton of bricks, and he went, I'm gonna have to tell you about this. And it made me so happy, in a way that I am genuinely. It is Schadenfreude because I shouldn't take joy in that, but I did.
But he caused so many other people suffering, and then he's experiencing just a fraction of that, and just that acknowledgement that he had that fraction of a moment. Yeah. You think that would break through, but no. Yeah. Anyway.
I don't know who Hatsune Miku is, but I presume that's a meme. I don't know what that is. Apologies.
You're either creating something beautiful or you're tearing it down. And all the joy in life.
Nope, some people just walk right by it.
Relationships or children or your work product. That's the joy right there, is in making stuff. And hoping that it lasts. And if you're around people who are like taking joy and kicking it down or spray painting it, just move away. Like this is not a rational thing, it's a spiritual battle. You're not going to win them over.
Because you've got the money to do that. You're white.
Is that like when they broke in on January the 6th and destroyed loads of shit and literally smeared the walls with poo?
Should Congress have just moved away?
Yeah.
You don't like it, just move away.
Yeah. Also, I want people to watch when he tries to walk off the stage. He nearly literally walks off the stage.
Oh, wonderful.
Nearly. He doesn't. He checks himself a couple of steps before. But anyway, well, you'll see.
Like with them, that's horrible. Violence is horrible. I mean, I guess sometimes it's, unavoidable. But if you can avoid it, you should, because it's bad. You don't want to hurt people, Just get away. And now you can. You absolutely can. Not all of you can. Some of you are tethered to this or that obligation, or there are still places without internet service, I guess. But I look at these cities and I'm like, why isn't everyone living on the shores of Lake Superior in like an abandoned Finnish settler village?
Because there aren't museums.
Well, taking saunas every day and like looking out on the steely gray water and feeling happy.
Great restaurants.
And yet they're in some like super depressing parking spot, driving 20 miles to, why would you do that? And getting yelled at and flashing signs on the highway telling you to wear a mask or get your injection or whatever? No thanks.
Is this a 70-year-old drunk?
Yeah.
Just rambling about like...
He's channeling Trump now.
Yeah.
Except he's not talking about himself enough.
Yeah. It's very weird.
I don't want to be around that at all. And you shouldn't either. And you should run away. You will feel much happier.
Run away.
And you'll see much more clearly.
But also
some
be
of you
brave.
have to deal with it, but some of you don't, and you shouldn't. It's a continental country. The whole interior of the country has been abandoned. It's unpopulated. Take it back. It's your country. You can live there if you want. It's all right.
Yeah, it was never populated. What are you talking about?
And then I would recommend kind of waiting it out a little bit and build like a real community. It's kind of nice to know the guy at the grocery store, the ladies at the post office. That's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, actually. It's a good thing. And the more of that you get in your life, the happier you'll be. And then you can wait for the dawn, which is coming.
Get around other white people. Hang out.
He's looking back. Oh, just there. He was going to walk off the stage. And he just checked himself.
God, that was shit.
That was awful.
That was really not worth the money.
No.